Hello, everybody, and welcome to Ring Post Radio, the only podcast where you are instructed to go find yourself. I'm your host, Ryan Eitze, and with me, as always, possibly, presumably, even though his video is away, with me, as always, hopefully, oh, there he's back, is the man, the myth, the legend, Scotty Edwards. Scotty, how you doing on this fine Sunday morning?
I was cold. So I was like, do I get up now? Do I get up?
Hey, I don't blame you. I
well.
don't blame you.
It's the only way to go. But I'm happy to be here. This show is not going to be as long as yesterday's. If it was, I think I'd die. I think I would legitimately die if we did an 8-hour podcast.
Well, it wasn't 8 hours. It was only 6.5 or 7.5 or something.
We are not. I'm including the pre-show because I have.
Sure.
Because I have to. Because I put it on.
Did you watch the pre-show?
I had it on the background, so I didn't watch it. I just kind of heard it. But it was on, which means I was listening to AEW content for ever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm happy to be here. I have a lot of things to say. My hope in humanity has been restored. This past 48 hours. 48 hours. Seeing Superman win the AEW World title and seeing Hangman Page save civilians. I mean, the other way around, but pretty much the same guy as far as I'm concerned.
Seeing Hangman Page save that squirrel.
Yeah, exactly.
Spoilers? Question mark?
As my friend said, in a span of 48 hours, he saw Superman. He had to go to a wedding, and he saw Hangman Page win the big one. He's like, I have never felt better. I could run through a wall. I could power a small city. And I was like, man, I didn't do the wedding part, but I agree.
Together hydrogen and it's just making a yellow sun.
I was like, I don't know how you're gonna power a small city, but you go for it, man. But yeah, I'm very happy to talk about the big show, and I also am approving Superman for anyone that for some reason needed that improvement.
I mean, sadly, I think some of the dumb backlash that movie is getting, I think it is warranted.
Don't listen to it.
Yeah. I actually did miss the pre-show, the 0 hour, because I was watching Superman.
Your day was full of humanity.
Yeah, it was. I woke up, ate a bagel, then went over to Superman and came home. And some friends came over. They were supposed to be out of town going to Asheville, but instead they were able to come in and watch All In Texas. What a show that was, of course.
Day 1 and day 2.
Yeah. Ring of Honor as well. We got to talk about it as well. Did I forget to pull it up on my Cage Match thing? Maybe, perhaps. Am I pulling it up now? Of course.
Oh, my joke was if you split these two shows in half, it would have been a day 1 and day 2.
Oh, yeah. Superman was a great movie. I really enjoyed it. It sounds like obviously, Scotty, you really enjoyed it as well.
I got emotional.
Yeah, I did too. I thought it was a really good job. I think James Gunn continues to kill it. There are a couple tiny things I have about the movie. I don't necessarily think it's like a 10 out of 10 perfect 5-star perfect movie, but I think it's very, very strong and very, very good, and I greatly enjoyed it. Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor was my favorite performance of the entire movie.
I hated that guy,
and he nailed it. It's also the meta commentary of his acting and character are I guess spoilers for the movie, but spoilers.
Don't spoil people. You can't spoil people. It's the first weekend. You can't say anything.
I was going to spoil the character motivation of Lex Luthor, which doesn't feel like that's a spoiler, but
I think that makes the movie. It helps the movie though once you learn it.
But I'll save it. I'll save it later for that. Maybe if we next week or something. But I really enjoyed that. If you know the meta commentary of Nicholas Hoult. And his various auditions for various roles. It's a very fun thing that it's I don't think he's pulling from that far of a source. So that was a very fun performance for me to watch. But yeah, great movie. James Gunn, again, killing it.
That's the first time I ever saw a good Superman movie in my lifetime.
I remember, I went to the theaters, I remember, for what was that movie? Superman Returns, Brandon Routh.
Yeah, I did too. It was awful.
And then we talked about it last week, the bullet flying off the eye.
When you're a kid and you know a movie's awful, it's bad.
Yeah. What was the first movie you watched that you realized that movies can suck? Does that make sense?
It might be that one.
I don't think it was that one for me. I think the one I truly remember, the first movie I truly remember that I really wanted to walk out of the theater was for the Amazing Spider-Man sequel.
Ooh, that's fair. That's fair.
That was the first movie I was like, this movie's really bad, and I don't want to be here.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Wow.
That's
all in Texas, everyone.
That's all in Texas. And speaking of Saturday's main event.
I've never gotten up and walked out on a movie.
I haven't either.
There's a few
I never watched
movies
that. I never walked
that
out.
I really do wish I did. There's a few movies I really wish I did. You ever see Think Like a Man 2? It's the worst movie.
Man 2.
I don't know. I don't remember why me and my friends went to see it, but we did, and it was horrendous.
Oh, it's 2 as in TOO.
Yeah. That should have been the dead giveaway. That was pretty bad. Like I said, Superman Returns. I was a kid, so I'd never get up and walk out of a movie, but I knew that was bad at the time. If I watched Fantastic Four, the
new one,
the first remake,
the Miles
in
Teller
theaters,
one?
I would have absolutely walked out of theaters because that might be the worst movie I've ever seen. There's a lot of movies I see after the fact that I'm like, holy shit, if I saw this in theaters, I would have lost my mind. But not many in theaters, which I mean, I guess is a good thing for me.
I would say it's a good thing. I think because in theory, you're spending more money at the theaters, I imagine.
True. And I love spending money. I went to 2 movies this week.
I am going to see F1 on Tuesday. And then,
if we go past 2 weeks, I went to the movies 3 times.
Oh, there we go. I know for a fact I'm seeing F1 on Tuesday, and then the following week on Tuesday, I'm probably going to see Eddington as well.
Oh yeah. So you look at us.
July, big month of movies for old Ryan over here.
Yeah, I saw F1 a few weeks ago. I saw my friend made me go see the How to Train Your Dragon live action remake.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't bad, which is a shocker because most live action remakes are bad.
Yeah.
So that was nice. And then I saw Superman, which was the best of them all. So
well, I don't want to get into
I really loved F1.
You and I both know that we would love to talk about movies and whatnot. And you know, if there's anyone in the comments listening right now, or any listeners, viewers listening to us right now, please, I would love to hear what was like the first movie you realized that like movies could be bad when you were young. I would love to know that in the comments. But
what was the first wrestling show you watched where you were like, oh, wrestling's bad?
I cannot remember because I first started watching WWE, my boy. Well, to that point, Scotty, you and I can sit here and talk about movies for so very long, and it would be unprofessional of us to talk about movies for 30 to 45 minutes.
Good thing we never said we were a professional.
Well, what I'm trying to say here, Scotty, is that it would be unprofessional of us to talk about movies for so long and be able to miss out on such big topics, like, you know, big time shows in the wrestling world. It would be very and to go for 2.5 hours and discuss. Pretty much discussing movies only. It would be unprofessional of us.
We would never do that. So we're going to talk about All in Texas now.
Yeah, so we got to talk about All in Texas. What a big weekend, of course. All in Texas, Ring of Honor, Supercard of Honor. WWE had some shows. We'll talk about them. But of course, you know, Supercard of Honor was in the calendar of first. But I feel like it's important for us to talk about All in Texas. That is the big show this weekend.
You'd be correct.
We should discuss All in Texas because I think this was obviously a big time show for AEW. This was the belief is sub 30, so it looks like maybe around 29,000 people, which is an insane walk up. I think it was like maybe 20, 25 the day before, and then they had a 4,000 to 9,000 people walk up, which is insane. Obviously, it was the most commercially successful pay-per-view, according to Tony Khan, it seems like. And it sounds like the pay-per-view buys are extremely strong, according to Tony Khan. And obviously, we'll hear way more about that later. But the show itself, obviously, I think, you know, I think to be fair, it's a show of two halves to a certain degree. There's a certain, right in that midpoint, there's a extremely sad moment that we'll of course talk about that starts, it's tough to follow that sort of moment, but it took a little bit. And I think that the overall show was able to grow and perform and outperform each other match after match, to culminate in one of the most satisfying moments in wrestling, at least in AEW, probably in several years. And in wrestling, I don't know, I would argue since, Cody Rhodes winning the title would be up there as one of the most satisfying moments. What did you think of the overall show of AEW All in Texas, Scotty?
If you cut the first half, it would have been the show of the year.
Yeah.
If you cut literally the first 2 hours of this show, you would have had the perfect card. And honestly, everything in the first 2 hours were pretty much things that I didn't think needed to be on the show to begin with. So it checked out, But ultimately they landed the plan, they landed the finish, right? And that's what really matters. I think my best way to say how I felt All in Texas was I disagreed probably with 75% of the winners throughout the show, and I literally didn't care. I never really cared because I was simply just waiting for the main event. Every time something happened, I was like, "Oh, that's okay." Yep. I didn't care. It just didn't faze me because I knew I was here for one thing and one thing only. I don't know if I've ever watched a wrestling show like that where I didn't care about any other finish.
There was a solitary draw for you specifically.
Yeah. Now they did post, someone posted the new champions of AEW, and I looked at it, I was like, I was like, huh, I didn't really that didn't really picture in my mind at the time, but okay. But it did, like I said, it did not matter. I was there for the main event. I was there for that match and that moment. Everything else was either a bonus or I just had to get through. Which was mostly, I will say, I enjoyed the majority of the show.
Yeah.
Like I said, the second half, or really from Swerve, Ospreay, and the Bucks and on, was fantastic. We don't have to. We do have to talk about the beginning, but we don't have to. It's that type of thing. But like I said, I've never watched a show where I disagree with so many finishes of matches, and I really just didn't care.
I'm glad you brought up the finish of the other matches, because obviously in our preview we went the other way. I think a lot of other people's previews, they went other ways on different matches as well.
Oh yeah.
And I was thinking about that in sort of the meta conversation of the meta-ness of the booking. And I was thinking about that in regards of I think the decision of you and I talked about how it makes sense for Mercedes to win, and then Tony won. You and I both talked about how it makes sense for the Young Bucks to win, and then Swerve and Ospreay won. We talked
that
about
one was the most shocking.
Yeah, we talked about Jet Speed or even the Patriarchy winning, and then the Hurt Syndicate won. We talked about all these things, and then the other people won, and it's not like the people that ultimately won are also bad choices. I think going into this, so much of the show was a 50-50 coin flip on some of these things. Anybody that won are certainly not bad choices. It's just they went the other direction on things. But I was thinking about that in the sort of meta context of what the show was and what it was building to in the main event. Of I know you, I know me sitting down watching the show. You and I both seeing result after result, being like, "Huh, that's interesting. Huh, that's interesting," and that. I don't know if it played into you, Scotty, but when we got to the main event, started building to that main event finish of Moxley and Page, it started becoming of well, this has been a night of interesting choices booking wise. That 10% of I think Mox might win grew a little bit just based off that meta commentary of the finishes to everybody else. It's huh, maybe we're on something. Maybe we're playing into this other idea of Mox actually might be retaining. And I don't know if that was on purpose at all, Scotty, but I do think, at least when it came to my expectations of the rest of the show, it was able in a meta way to affect my feelings going into the main event, which is good. I think I like that. I'm not like necessarily upset about all the other results. So it's like, I think by and large, I'm happy with that. It's a weird feeling, and I don't know if anyone else had that, but it's definitely a feeling that I experienced.
Like I said, I was always I got pretty confident Hangman was winning, but like I said last week, I was like 99%, but that 1% sits there.
Yeah.
And I think the 1% didn't necessarily grow, but I felt it a little bit more as the show went on, because again, none of the other results really mattered to me, but they did cause this idea of like,
all right.
like, well,
I sat there with Tony Storm winning for the next all throughout the Omega Okada match, being like, oh, okay, that's an interesting result, right?
If I was to like say like what result I disagree with the most, it's probably that one.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll talk about that just because I think there's obviously a conversation to have there. But I can't stress enough. In the end, nothing else really mattered. It's like the guy that was supposed to win won. I said this to my friend, and I said a lot of things to my friends throughout the week, like that I'd take out CM Punk for Hangman, but that's besides the point. But I said on May 29, 2022, the downfall of AEW began.
Yeah.
On July 12th, 2025, it finally got back to where it was supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
And for those who can't remember, the downfall was when Hangman lost the world title. Everything went to shit from that point forward. I'm not wrong either. Punk gets hurt the same week. Then all that stuff happens.
One could argue it went to shit a little bit earlier, just in that
Sure, I guess. But like, we didn't know too much about, we didn't know how bad it was, right?
Yes.
And now that we sit here all these years later and Hangman's back at the top, it's I was gonna save this whole ramble for the match review, but I'll just say it now. You could over the past, when was that, 2022? So over the past 3 years, people have talked about all these different things: the ace, the face of the company, the heart and soul, the feeling. Yeah, right. The feeling. Hangman Page is all of those put into one. There is no one that embodies what AEW is supposed to be more than Hangman Page. And it's been that way literally since day one in this company. Ultimately, at the end of the day, what Hangman Page represents is AEW, and what CM Punk represents is WWE. Who would have thought all these years later? Funny to think about. But I'm not going to bring that guy's name up anymore. We're going to celebrate Hangman all throughout this show. We're going to celebrate an accomplishment of all accomplishments that was the show as a whole.
Yep.
And we're going to celebrate a future for AEW that couldn't be more exciting.
Yeah.
Even with MJF getting a world title shot.
Yeah, I think it was a very strong show, and obviously landing the plane perfectly with Adam Page in that main event. Winning the world title is majorly significant. I totally agree. I think the thing that, with what you said, Scotty, there really struck home for me is that he is Hangman on Page, the character, the performer, whatever, is doing everything that AEW should be. You say the ace, you say the face of the company, you say the feeling. He's like the template. He is the feeling of this company. He is if you are a wrestler that wants to get into AEW or wants to work in AEW, wants to figure out what the style of the promotion is, you look to Hangman Adam Page. That is the responsibility that you should have, because he is that template of what this company is and what it should mean. Obviously, I think there's a lot of other people that, provide such greatness for this company, like a John Moxley, Kenny Omega, Young Bucks, Ospreay, Swerve, pick 'em. But it's Hangman Adam Page. This is everything that pro wrestling should be. And, what I also want to speak to, Scotty, is, laying it out here that this was, a multi-year story, a 3-year story that you kind of laid out. Was it meant to be 3 years? Who knows? But you know what I mean? Like, it turned out to be 3 years of storytelling. And to me, in terms of the macro lens, one of the beauties of watching and following professional wrestling for all this time is the fact that it is 24/7. It is 365. There are no days off. It is a story that is being told in real time, and you are following the story in real time and going through it with the performers in real time. You don't get a season break. You don't watch 2.5 hours of a movie and then leave the theater. It is, you experience it in real time. And sometimes that time takes too long and the quality starts going down. You start considering, I don't think this is going to be worth it anymore. But in other times, people can right the ship and turn everything back around and pay off 3 years for that storyline. The longer the investment is, I listened to a thing, a podcast with the Russo brothers. They were talking about the Avengers movies and talked about how they believe that long form storytelling, especially for like when it came to the MCU, the reason Avengers Infinity War and Endgame were so strong is that because you followed basically in real time the creation of the MCU and what basically was the finale of that first run of the MCU. You were able to experience that in real time, that long form storytelling. Wrestling is the same way. You experience all of this and enjoy it and watch it and go through the emotions of it all in real time for 3 years to get to this moment. If all of nowhere you just picked Hangman Adam Page 6 months ago and said, let's put the title on him, I'm sure we would have, still experienced it. But the fact that we were able to go through the throes of this, go through him losing the title in the fashion that he lost it, and the fallout of all of that. We had to go through his story of falling from grace in that capacity, his story of becoming the heel, feuding with Swerve, the Mox story, even the Death Riders and that whole thing. The fact that we had to go through a lot of slop in a lot of ways as well to get to this pinnacle speaks to the beauty of storytelling in professional wrestling, and one of the big reasons why I enjoy this sport so much.
It's hard to, I think, convince yourself, or at least for me, that Hangman was always the one in this story.
Yeah.
Because there's 3 years of proof he was never gonna be the one again. I feel like I came on this podcast, and I think we've been doing this podcast these past 3 years for sure, talking about this. I feel like every time we ever came on and talked about AEW and maybe their problems, I just asked, where's Hangman? What's Hangman doing? Why is Hangman not in the main event? I said that last year at All In, and even though I'm happy it paid off this way, I still feel I was right last year. I don't care what anyone says. But it paid off, and that's okay. In the right role for him, especially. But if you look at the last 2 All-Ins and you compare his spot to everyone else that they've gone in on over the past couple of years. He was in a trios match as the 3rd guy with the Golden Lovers at the first one.
Yeah.
Last year, he was just thrown into the Casino Gauntlet. This year, he main events, right? So that is like the perfect embodiment of like where this guy was and what he became. And that was not to take from Cody Rhodes here, but undeniable. Right? It took a long time to get back here. Somehow, some way, despite the original Moxley feud that has been brought up a ton over the past couple of months, despite the Swerve feud that was a incredible fire during a bad time in the company when MJF was stinking it up as
Saying
world
fire,
champion.
pun intended, I have to assume.
Yes, of course. Like, so many times through these 3 years of ups and downs and bads and goods, many of the times when you gave Hangman a top story, it was the best story. Yeah. It was the best match. Texas Death isn't just a match type. It is literally the story of Hangman Page. He's literally to die for this company. You have to think of the past 3 years. There was a time people thought Hangman should just leave because of all that stuff, how it happened, right? But he stayed.
I'm sure he was thinking about leaving.
Right, but he stayed. He stayed, he re-signed, and he kept pushing forward. He's a guy that you want to be the face of your company in every which way. And I was thinking about it when I was watching the tag match, and I was like, my God, if this was Hangman instead of Ospreay, I think I'd still be losing my mind. It's just he had to be in this role. And I guess this could just be our start of our match review for the main event at this point. And I have to say this for Moxley and the Death Riders, because I think it's a fascinating road that we got here, because so much of his story in kayfabe was, we're here to fix AEW. Well, they did. Whether we want to give them full credit or not is another conversation, because I'm not going to sit here and act like their whole reign was good, because it wasn't. I came on a lot of these shows saying, wow, that main event stunk. Wow, that was bad. This is bad.
A lot of the reason you were considering stop watching AEW was solely because of the Death Riders.
Yes, it was. Well, to be fair, I almost that's a big reason. Find yourself. But I stayed through because there's something that I think Jon Moxley has earned with many of us, and that's time. Mm-hmm. He's given so much right to this company. Why I couldn't give up on him. I didn't give up during MJF, and oh boy, I should have. Right. So I gave him time in my personal interest. The swerve loss almost broke me, but all roads led to All In, and it all paid off. It all felt right. When Hangman is taking the belt out of the briefcase and he stops for a second and just breaks down and then opens it up and just explodes with happiness, it's like that felt like one of those moments you'll never forget in AEW's history. I am willing to go as this was the greatest moment in AEW history, was Hangman Page returning to the top, winning the world title in the biggest show they've ever done in North America. Like, it felt perfect. It felt like it was always the plan. Boy, oh boy, it was not always the plan. 3 years ago, it was not always the plan, so on, right? But it doesn't matter because it's the plan now, and it's the one that happened. Yeah. And like I said, it literally doesn't matter what happened the rest of the show, because this happened. Yeah. The rest of the show is pretty cool, but this happened. And this is all that matters. And the match was crazy as we expected. The match was bloody, nasty. They did some crazy shit. And yet, somehow, all I can think of is Bryan Danielson in a Blue Panther mask.
Yeah, main event, of course, AEW World Title Texas Death Match. Adam Page defeats Jon Moxley 35 minutes and 53 seconds to finally win the AEW World Championship, taking out the briefcase out of love.
I couldn't believe this was the longest match.
You can't believe that it was the longest?
I couldn't believe it because I rewatched it this morning. Yeah. And I was like, and I looked at the match times after and I said, all of these matches felt way longer than this one.
Agreed.
Which tells you how probably good this one was comparably to maybe some.
Oh, I agree. I thought this match was, I'll say it, Scotty, perfect. I went 5.
It was everything you wanted, right? Like, it was everything you could have asked for from the run-ins and the...
Yeah. So, the spoiler is that I went 5 on this. Slap a big old Lincoln on this.
I don't think that's a spoiler. We're talking about it, right?
I know.
Spoiler is the Superman book. No, just kidding.
I thought this match was very strong. I just want to say, you know what? You don't know.
Very strong after he says 5.
you don't know how hard I popped out of my chair, Scotty, when Adam Page got that triangle choke on Moxley, grabbed that fork, and started hard way stabbing that fork into Moxley's skull. You have no idea. The moment he's doing that, I'm like, okay, that's cool. And then blood starts forming. I was like, yeah.
You say forming. I think it was bursting. Like, That it got nasty quick, but yeah, it was awesome.
It was, it obviously, there's and I talked about this with friends like during the match, like that play between like the glass, the fork usage, the barbed wire, the line, the delineation between like what is real, what is fake. Is the glass real or is it sugar glass? Is the barbed wire real or is it the whatever the worked barbed wire sort of thing? Having the conversation of like these steel chairs are like kind of cookie tray material a little bit.
Yeah.
But when you flip it and put the spines on and do a power bomb on it, you're gonna feel that no matter what. Opening with that with a shoot fork to the forehead is like the perfect way to like make everything about the rest of the match feel real, because the very first use of violence with a weapon was extremely real and it ruled so hard. It was so awesome to see that. It was so small and simple and it worked so well for me. I really enjoyed that spot. The rest of the match was obviously great. I think that we're starting from the top of the card here, but obviously a through line throughout the show to a certain degree is, with the trios match in the opener, Ospreay and Swerve versus the Young Bucks. There's this through line of the show of the war between the Death Riders and the AEW roster. Taking out Samoa Joe, stretcher job early.
Couldn't believe it. So you start the show off by killing Samoa Joe on me.
And then ending the show killing Will Ospreay in the exact same fashion and doing a stretcher job there as well.
I do want to talk about that. I thought killing him. He's alive, guys. But I thought doing that to like set the tone of the run-ins was perfect.
Yeah.
It's like this is the only guy that's willing to help him right now, and look at him.
Yeah.
He's dead. And
then taking out Joe as well, someone that has been like a big turning point, a big thorn of Jon Moxley's side. It became this thing of like, oh, there's one less person that's going to show up in the main event to help Adam Page. Yeah. And it created this, we talked about how like we felt that this main event had potential real bloodline rules energy.
It sure did.
But the difference in the bloodline rules match with Roman and Cody and this match is that I think all of the run-ins were earned. There wasn't Undertaker popping out of nowhere.
There wasn't people just coming out for fun. Yeah.
It wasn't Undertaker meant to play Brock Lesnar coming out of nowhere. It was Ospreay coming out and then helping Adam Page, but then losing and sacrificing himself truly. It was the Young Bucks and everything and their connection with Adam Page and Moxley and all these sort of things. It was Danielson coming back in the ring with a Blue Panther mask with not only helping Adam Page, but a modicum of his own revenge. It was Darby literally coming from the highest of highs of Mount Everest, scaling down from the building to help Adam Page and take down Moxley. Since
the man we all sat there fearing for months was going to be the one winning this world title, by the way.
Yeah. But he's coming down scaling as the first guy that was not meant to, but the first guy that wanted to take on Death Riders and Darby. Culminating in the moment of Hangman Adam Page ultimately winning the world title. I think it was just beautifully laid out. All the run-ins made perfect sense. Having like run-ins literal sacrifice themselves with Ospreay. Swerve, I didn't even mention Swerve.
Yeah, I was gonna say kind of the most important one.
All of these things were extremely important to the story, and every story beat I think worked perfectly. And like you said, all of them were meant to create the best moment that you can get, the most juice out of, as my friend described it, the most happy of endings. With the two.
AEW risked not sending fans home happy for 9 months to get to this point.
Would I do that again?
No,
maybe not.
No, I would not. Sometimes you strike gold. Don't try it twice. It paid off in the end, but boy, oh boy, let's not do that again.
Yeah. Look, if I had one complaint about the whole presentation with this match, Scotty, it would be that the Hangman Adam Page entrance video really felt like he was about to grab a saddle and ride a horse to the ring. And that was a big
you
old
wanted the
tease that I did
horse.
not appreciate. Instead, we of course got the Death Rider showing up in Mater,
yeah,
Toe
of
Mater.
course. I will say I did love Hangman's entrance though. Like the stoppage and the crowd freaking out, and then hits the old song, and then they're showing the heel side, which he had still been coming out of.
That was great,
despite all this, and then flying over to the babyface side. I was like, that was perfect. Like that's just like one of those little things that you obviously have to be an AEW viewer to understand, right?
Yeah. Oh, the perfect example. My friend was in town, or my friend was in town. Oh, they were supposed to be in Nashville, but they were able to make it. They had a friend who had watched wrestling growing up in the '90s and whatnot.
Yeah.
And so his vague ideas. When that happened, when that entrance thing happened, they out loud said, "Well, that was a production issue." And I turned to him and said, "No, that was a story beat. That is not a production issue. This guy has been feeling like he only deserves to come out of this tunnel. This promotion does these tunnels in this fashion, and this is the AEW production team assuming still feels that way and being obviously wrong, and Hangman being the one to decide, no, I'm going out here, not the production team. Hangman decided that.
Yeah, it was like it was so perfect. Just that was such a perfect way to start the match. I also want to give credit to the crowd. This is again is 8 hours into this show if you're there from the very beginning. It's 6.5 if you're there from the start of the main card. And they were the loudest they had been all night for this match. Again, because that's why people were here. You had incredible matches up and down the card, but people were here for this. I did think to myself a few times, I was like, I can't believe some people thought anything else should have main evented the show.
I sat here thinking, I can't believe people there are probably, Scotty, people that were watching this show and said to themselves, "Oh, we're running up against 8 o'clock. I really need to go switch to Saturday night's main event. You know what? I'll watch the main event. I'll watch AEW's main event later. Let me go watch Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton."
There probably were people that said that.
And those people don't listen to the show, I'm sure.
Probably not. No, they're still waiting for a Night of Champions review. But yeah, no, I just this match, this moment, everything was the culmination of AEW in many ways and what AEW is supposed to be and why AEW is what it is, right? You can't have this main event anywhere else.
Yeah.
You just can't. And not everyone's going to love it, but who gives a shit? Because AEW fans are going to love it. And that's who they're booking for again, right? 2 years ago at All In, the first All In England, that main event was for who? Still don't know. I don't know who MJF versus Adam Cole was for, but it certainly wasn't AEW fans. To see this company go from that to this, and obviously at the time that was a super hot angle, whatever. I don't care. Like this was helping us get back from that, right? And it's just incredible to think that after all these years, it had to be the Hangman. But like I said, it was always going to be the Hangman. There was truly no one else that could have made. I feel like the world feel this way. The amount of people I saw that I'm friends with who kind of gave up on American wrestling as a whole tuned in for this show and said, "Oh, so this is what it feels like to feel for American wrestling again." It's like it's the Hangman. It's always him, man.
I mean, it's not just American wrestling. I feel like almost wrestling as a whole nowadays, like Japan.
You're probably right. I mean, unless your niche is crushing it, which
CMLL,
right? For the unless your niche is crushing it, you probably needed this.
Yeah,
like if you're a New Japan fan, oh, you needed this. If you're a WWE fan, you're watching Saturday Night's Main Event, so who cares?
I was locked into Obafemi versus Yoshiki Inamura.
But most importantly, if you were an AEW fan, you needed this. Like, I am someone who has been very up and down with this company for I guess 3 years, truthfully. And to think I got here and I was so excited going into the show, and I'm so excited with the show over. I'm like, I can't wait for Dynamite. You know the last time I said that?
Are you
Like,
gonna watch live?
I am gonna watch it live.
Oh,
I will watch
that's
it
the
live
major news,
man.
folks. That's the groundbreaking news.
I haven't watched Dynamite live probably since 2022. I'm not even kidding. That's just because I rarely watch things live, but it usually like needs to get me there. The Hangman got me there, but I can't say enough things about this main event and the run-ins. Danielson popped me like you wouldn't believe.
Yep.
Darby flying down was as always entertaining, and what a moment that was. But Swerve handed him that chain. Oh, and I need to give Moxley credit. The way he sold that finish. Oh my God.
Yeah.
That looked like a man that was terrified. That looked like a man that was like, what, this is over. And I have to accept, like, just moving and Hangman obviously kind of has to like hold that thing, right? And it's like it was just perfect. And then he taps out, and the overall motion of the entire building, it's like that's no matter how I felt about the Death Riders angle, it paid off for that moment alone.
You know, you hear the phrase that people sell like death. No, Moxley sold death. That guy was fearful in that moment, in the realization. You could see on his face that, oh, I think this guy's going to kill me. I need to tap out because I fear for my life.
Yeah. I
That's
have no
the
more
finish.
help. And I keep thinking of things I liked about the main event. I really liked the first half of the match from the beat where Hangman was willing to take on everyone by himself.
Yeah.
Right. He takes out Marina, he takes out Yuta, and then the numbers are just too much.
Yeah.
You know, I thought that was another great beat. And then eventually people got, Ospreay obviously comes in and tries, and poor guy, probably see in a month or two. You deserve a break after. He posted how many times he's flown back and forth this year, and I was like, so much. But yeah, just everything they put together from start to finish on this show for all of this match. It was great. It was fantastic. And like I said, literally nothing on this show mattered truly once the main event started. But I guess we could talk about everything else now. Because there is another part of AEW that exists, and it's outside of the world title now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I will say, missing Willow. I was fully expecting Willow.
Oh, man, I agree.
And when Marina got handcuffed, I was like, oh, here we go, Willow. And then Nana popped up, and I was like, all right.
That was a good bit. I'm
totally fine with Nana because look, I was fully expecting Willow in that moment. But when Nana popped up, that shocked me even more. But then, of course, that tees up Swerve.
Yeah.
And that's even bigger.
I did say to myself, I was like, I'm cool with not doing any entrance pops. But if Willow comes out, they should.
That's also a good point. Talking about it in comparison to the Bloodline Rules match, because I do kind of feel like
I like entrance pops. I won't lie to you.
We set up that as the idea, right? We set that up as like this feels like what the match is going to be, and I do think in large regard that's kind of what the match structurally was, right?
I mean, the Death Riders structurally were the Bloodline in a different way too. So,
but I think that in the most obvious way, the difference between WWE and AEW is that WWE is going to play the music and the video graphics and cut out the lights for the Undertaker or whatever, whereas AEW is just going to have people run in. That's the difference. There's a realism. This isn't a performance in a show. This is a fight to the death.
And I thought that was a good change up from obviously the Bloodline Rules one. And it's a hard decision to make because you do get instant pops from hitting the music, right? If Darby's song hit, people would have lost their minds. Honestly, when the Darby Everest video started, I thought that was the start of like Final Countdown or something.
Yeah.
Like the little rumble until I saw the video, obviously. And I was like, oh, so they are going to play a song. They didn't have to, though, because we had Blue Panther show up. Like, we were fine.
Yeah.
And I thought every way they did it, they made up for it, right? They had him drop down instead of an entrance pop. They had Danielson do the yes chants. That does enough, right? Like you don't need the music, and you have Nana tease Swerve, so now you're expecting it. Now you're ready for it.
Yeah,
I thought they did everything very smart in the way they executed that. They got the pop without having to hit the music, right? And I think that's the way they played it was very smart. Everything, the way they played the entire main event was really smart, and AEW is pretty cool now.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Never take the belts from Hangman, please. Thank you.
Yeah, I think that's a great question. Is like the sort of what's next of it all. I assume that's more of an answer
MJF
we'll get on Wednesday. I think MJF is probably going to be more of the long. I don't know. It feels like now with like the Hurt Syndicate having the belts too, it feels like they're going to lean towards having all the gold. But we also know, based off the presser, that the rules regarding these Casino Gauntlet things is going to be slightly different. I don't get the sense that this is a cash-in, but we'll find out
you might be
what
right.
all of this means. So
I hope it's not a cash-in, because
me too.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Swerve and Osprey are EVPs now?
Yeah, I'm confused by that because I thought it wasn't for the EVP titles, but now the AEW roster page says EVPs.
I'm looking at it right now. That's fascinating.
Yeah. I assume we'll figure out what that means on Wednesday.
Well, Osprey's dead, so we'll figure out what Swerve means.
I'm fascinated what's next for Hangman and Page. If it is indeed MJF first, who knows? But we talked about it, that Forbidden Door is actually technically the next big pay-per-view. So he could be defending against an AEW guy. He could be defending against a New Japan guy. Heck, he could be defending against a CMLL guy. I don't know. We'll sort of figure that out and find that out as we get closer to Forbidden Door. I think then
that's
the question
tomorrow problem.
Yeah, the question is All Out. What do they do for All Out? And I think that's too early to figure out what that is. Death Riders and John Moxley. Again, I don't know what's next for these guys. I'm staying tuned to figure it out.
Yeah, that's weird. Part of me thinks they're just gone. They're not at all. They have a story with Chris Statlander that's literally going on right now, for example. So they're definitely not gone, but that'll be interesting.
And I think Darby as back in his return feels like that's the first big feud, maybe.
Probably, yeah. That makes a lot of sense. There's a lot of ways to go, obviously. And hey, I mean, you and me talked about taking Swerve and Osprey out of the title picture for a year. That's not happening anymore. So
that's true. They're available.
Big door opened when that happened. I will say this. This is the last thing on Hangman. Incredible that his first show as world champion is in Chicago, Illinois on Wednesday. Incredible.
3 years, 3 years. Fates and destiny have aligned in such a fashion.
And my favorite part is they're all going to be cheering him.
Yeah.
It's going to be great. It's going to be great. Time. Shout out to the Hangman. Shouts out.
Well, should we go back to the I guess the bottom of the card? The trios title.
Let's get through the slog. That was the first few matches.
Yeah, so the trios title opened up the show. Katsuya Shibata, Hobbs, and Samoa Joe were able to retain their titles against Claudio, Yuta, and Gabe Kidd. I thought this match was a totally fine, serviceable opener of the show. Nothing too ecstatic about it. Just sort of like, this served its purpose,
Yeah. Definitely not what I would have picked to open. But the angle was the purpose, right? Set the tone for really the rest of the night. So I didn't have a problem with it. The match was whatever.
Yeah, I thought the match was, like I said, completely good, serviceable sort of thing. And you're totally right. The angle was meant to serve the purpose and tee off the entire theme of the show, or one of the themes of the show, with this war between AEW and the Death Riders. So, good enough for what it was. Next up was the Casino Gauntlet match. MJF wins, defeats a bunch of different guys. Fun little bits as we get the return of Juice Robinson finally. A singlet wearing, shaved beard, cut hair, weird looking man.
Wild, dude.
I don't think we had any other little bits in this thing. I really enjoyed about the Casino Gauntlet match is that they really teed up everybody doing their finish. Everyone gets laid out, and then they do the camera crane cutting, sweeping from the ring to the entrance as 10, 9. Everyone's getting excited. Really feels like we're teeing up like a return, like Darby, Cope, Kingston. Pick somebody. We're teeing up a return, and then fucking Max Caster's music plays. I'm like, yeah, baby. that's the perfect setup.
Usually
That's
when
the way
you do that, you do have one more person come out to make up for it. They didn't. That might have been the funniest part. This match was way too long.
Way too long.
35 minutes is egregious. They had 6 matches of 25 minutes or more.
Yeah, this was way too long.
Too many, man. That's just too many.
1 minute shorter than the main event. Way too long. Did not have to be. I mean, I don't know necessarily who I'm cutting out of this match. You know what I mean? But like, I'm cutting people out of this match. I'm cutting at least 10 minutes from this match for sure.
So, it was like never ending.
Yeah.
You don't even have to cut people. Just make the intervals shorter.
Agreed.
Like, there were ways to get there. Holy. I don't think this is a hot take based on cage match, but I did part of me think it was going to be. This was the weaker of the two. And this was the one I said that didn't need to happen on this show. So I felt right in the end. Out of the two Casino Gauntlets, I should say.
Of course.
Also, I think my biggest problem with this match is way too much talent was wasted in this match. I looked throughout the rest of the card. I was like, they would have been good there. Like, why was Roderick Strong on the TNT title match?
Yeah,
after what they did to me.
In hindsight, I think maybe would have been a good idea there.
I said it during the Gauntlet just because they were in the same faction. I was just like, oh, that makes sense. Little did I know what was about to hit me in the face immediately after this Casino Gauntlet match.
And then, yeah, what hit us all in the face immediately afterwards is, of course, we got we were told, I think earlier in the 0 hour, that the TNT title randomly was Adam Cole out of nowhere is giving up the TNT title. It's now a 4-way with Dustin Rhodes, Daniel Garcia, Kyle Fletcher, and Sammy Guevara. Before we talk about the match itself, of course, we get Adam Cole come out giving the reason, already, by the way, crying his way to the ring. And I was like, okay, he's coming out on commentary like he has been for the past several things or whatever. And then I see Roddy Strong in the corner. He's sticking around. I see Kyle. I'm like, oh, no. No, I know what this is. And immediately by the first sentence, half sentence, couple words that Adam Cole says, he is struggling to get out his words, already garbled mouth. We get a sort of soft retirement speech from Adam Cole. He has suffered an injury. He did not disclose what it is. Tony Khan did not disclose.
We don't know if it's an injury. We don't know what it is.
It's something. It's a health issue. Which to me, based on what he was saying, based on like what Tony Khan described as sort of like the timeline of events that led it there, sounded concussion-y.
That's
which
he has
obviously
a history of.
Bad history of it. This guy was out for an entire year because of concussion issues. And should maybe they have like waited a little bit to get more answers to figure out what they're feeling about it without because Adam Cole was not in the right headspace obviously to give the speech, which I don't blame him. It's a tough speech to give, but it was harrowing because this is a guy, we've talked about it, is that his performance in AEW has not been our favorite, but we have always maintained that we have always loved and appreciated the person that is Adam Cole. And, the big emotional moment of the speech basically for me is this is a guy that this has been his dream since he was a child. And this has been his dream to wrestle on these stages since he was a teenager. And for this guy to have come into this company and have suffered from so many different injuries and now get another injury at the age of 36 years old, what many people would argue as your prime as a wrestler, to now get another injury that he feels, Adam Cole feels, doctors probably certain feel, or he wouldn't have given this speech, might be career ending, is extremely harrowing because, it's not just, as Adam Cole lays out, it's not just a career that is potentially ending here, Scotty. It's a childhood dream that is being forced to stop. And that is always extremely harrowing to watch.
Yeah. There's a real difficulty to a lot of this as someone who has long rooted for Adam Cole, the person, more than anything else. I've listened to him do a lot of interviews. I've heard him listen I've listened to him for a lot of things throughout the years, and there's no question his AEW run has went completely the opposite direction than he could have ever expected.
Yeah.
Right? You go back to that Forbidden Door show, the first one where he got hurt and was out for a very long time due to concussion. And then he comes back and he gets the big angle with MJF and he has the big match at All In. And before they could even pay that off, he destroys his ankle on accident and he's out for another year essentially. And, then he comes back again and, now this. And there have been ups and downs even throughout this past time he's been around, right? He's had to miss action from time to time. They obviously have very clearly taken it easy with him since he's won the TNT title as well.
Yeah.
So it's a real bummer. I mean, you put the wrestling away and you don't really give a shit about that when it comes to something like this because this is a human being who, if you have a dream, you understand what it feels like to want to live that dream. And obviously he has been able to, but now it might be taken away from him. So that sucks.
Yeah.
I've never seen someone get so many glowing comments regarding who they are as a person than Adam Cole, maybe in the history of wrestling. And it continues to this day. I see Ciampa, I see Kevin Owens, I see all these WWE people paying their respect to him. It's like, man, whatever this is, it's a heartbreaker. And you just kind of hope that whatever happens, he can come back in some way, shape, or form. I don't think he's gone from wrestling as a whole, whether it's from the ring or not. He's got the gift of gab, obviously. His gift has always been talking. So if he can't return to the ring, I'm sure he'll find something. But yeah, it was a bummer. And Kyle and Roddy made sure to break me a little bit extra when they were on the outside and then hugged him. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I was like, we have to continue this show right now.
I don't know what's obviously next for Adam Cole, and judging by his speech, he obviously does not know what's next for him. Like he even said, he's like, I'm not calling this a retirement because I'm not in the right headspace to even dub it or figure out what this is. But even the fact that those kind of words show the severity of what this sort of thing is. I don't know what's next for the guy.
He was wrestling up until Saturday night, Tony said.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like everything was all systems go until
he woke up and then it was like, oh no.
Yeah. That's terrifying.
You talk about the gift of gab. If this guy is forced to not compete anymore, I love the idea of him at the commentary table. I think he's been serviceable in his role, showing up and doing the commentary every once in a while. The guy obviously, the guy does it basically on Twitch with video games.
That's true.
I think there's something to me about I do love me the team of Ian and Caprice. But Ian Cole, there's something there that I find fascinating as well.
I like that. I do like that.
I think that could be maybe.
If there was ever a third person to have learned from those two,
maybe
they'd be fun. They'd be a fun trio.
Put him in Ring of Honor, so he's learning. He's got
those would be those types of guys you just root for, anyways. Like three nice guys. Obviously, they don't go to every show, so they can. Even if they wanted to have him do it from home sometimes just to learn. Yeah, there's ways to do it. I like that team, though. I obviously hope he doesn't have to do commentary. And he can
obviously we all would like to see him back in the ring.
Dude's 36 years old, which makes that that's crazy.
Yeah.
He's been around for so long and he's still only 36 years old.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Adam Page is 33.
That's bananas. I knew that because he was always young. I remember when but that's crazy to think about because it's obviously all he's gone through. I don't want to be like that guy that looks back on what could have been for Adam Cole. But he was definitely going to be world champion in this company, and so many things got taken away from him. Whether that would have been good or not, I don't really care. It's just these are career accolades this man was chasing. This is a guy that his dream was WWE and he left. Right? He left after doing the big NXT run and he left. And I think that's something that just tells you a lot about the guy he is and what he wanted to do and where he wanted to be. So yeah, it's a bummer. And I wish him the best.
I wish him the best as well. Obviously, when it came to the match, the 4-way, look, this match, I'll say this, Scotty, this match wasn't that good. And I do
it was the
think
worst match on the show.
It was the worst match on the show.
By a lot.
And obviously, I think it's fair to say that it is in part the worst match on the show because the crowd had zero interest in watching this match because of the Adam Cole announcement right before it.
I think there's an argument they might have not had interest to begin with without the announcement.
Sure.
Because obviously this was thrown together and there's very limited, if any, interest in 3 of the 4 right now.
Sure. But the crowd died even more based off the announcement. That very extremely emotional announcement. That's why I sort of questioned. I was like, do we have to do that during the middle of the show and just really, really bumping the road on the card? But I get it. I think that was important. But the match wasn't that good. I don't think the match was even like laid out in a way to have helped itself. You know what I mean?
No, there wasn't a layout there, man. There was just like moves happening.
It was just a standard like collision match is the best way I can put it. And even then, like it was kind of
like Rampage, baby.
That's also fair. It wasn't that good of a match. I think there are definitely things that could have helped it. Like look, to me, Scotty, maybe they want to save it for the main event, but this is a 4-way. Just throw out some chairs and pop the crowd a little bit with some weapons, Structure the match a little bit differently because you're not going to be able to do anything else.
My only takeaway from this match was that Kyle Fletcher was so much better than everyone else.
Yes. Dustin, Dustin's older. Sammy Guevara and Daniel Garcia. I've always been a guy on the show of like, Danny's good and all these sort of things. This is the match for me where I was like, I don't see it anymore, I think, with Danny Garcia. I'll be honest. I don't. I think I'm officially throwing in the towel on this guy, and I don't think he's
welcome to the club.
He's got the juice anymore.
We do have juice at the club though.
Oh, Juice Robinson?
Damn right.
A guy that doesn't have the juice anymore?
No, I do have to say this about Juice. I never said this. When I saw his look, I was like, is he joining Timeless Tony eventually? Like, I feel like this whole new look is just built for that.
Yeah. There's something off. There's something about it. Juice instead of Luther is very funny though. Juice in the Luther role.
Juice in the Luth. This match stunk.
Yeah, match stunk. I don't think it was structured in a way that would have helped itself, and the crowd obviously was.
I know why they had Dustin Rhodes win, right? It's to get the crowd back into it, right? It's like a big babyface moment.
Yep.
Holy shit, I was still not into that.
Yeah. When Dustin won, I was like, all right. That's a weird call, but that's the right call for what needs to happen here.
Funny enough, this was the first result of the night where I was like, huh?
Yeah. On a scale, I know you're a big fan of Dustin, Scotty. On a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you for 3 belts, Dustin?
I couldn't believe the reality of him having 3 belts. I was like, I thought about it because I saw the 2 Ring of Honor ones get handed to him. I was like, this man has more belts than Cody. This guy has more belts than most of wrestling.
Well, other than Mercedes Moné, of course, but I digress.
The 2 belt collectors.
Dustin Rhodes and Mercedes Moné.
But she only has 1 company title. I
don't think there needs to be really.
I would have Kyle Fletcher. I would have Kyle Fletcher beat him Wednesday.
Yeah, and I would have him
a mercy killing type match. Like,
I would have
destruction.
Yeah, I agree. I think Brain Buster, running Larry in the corner, just destroy this man. And
we gave him the moment. That's fine.
Is that enough separation because people are pointing to Kyle Fletcher injuring him? I think in kayfabe, I don't know in reality, but in injuring Adam Cole. So like, do we play into it with him destroying Dustin Rhodes? Is that an idea? We'll think about it. I don't think it's a bad idea. It's heel heat at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's true.
So we'll figure out how that goes out. Next up was Young Bucks versus Swerve and Ospreay. Of course, this was EVP titles versus 1 year not challenging for the world title. I think this match did a really good job of trying to bring the crowd back through its moments. I think it took a little bit in the beginning for me, but there was a moment where it was like the Young Bucks and Ospreay started trading high octane, quick pace action in the ring, and that's, I think, the turning point of this match where I was able to elevate the crowd out of their slump into something really great. I think the dual entrances for the Young Bucks was a little silly, of coming out and then walking over and doing a boat gimmick. Was just do one of them. Don't do two, just do one. It played into the idea of the show being way too long for its own good. But yeah, ultimately, I thought this match was really fun, really great. I greatly enjoyed it. Weird result, in my opinion, with Swerve and Ospreay winning, but obviously I'm not upset about it because that just means we get Swerve versus Ospreay, Swerve and Ospreay versus Page sooner than 1 year. Where do the Young Bucks go from here? They're no longer EVPs. I don't know. We'll see what happens, I guess. But they got open doors.
Wrestling?
I'm sure they have ideas of what their heel characters can be without the power that they would have wielded. What do you think of the match?
I just want to say Fightful did confirm he's dealing with concussion issues.
There we go. Now. So there we go.
That's unfortunate. Yeah, I thought the match was great. That's a hot take?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think it is at all.
Okay, I thought it was great. Woke up the show. That's probably why I have such a fond memory of the match itself. Because those, you kind of went into a slumber after that fatal 4-way for one reason or another. And I was like, okay, this show needs to pick up. So when they announced this, I was like, okay, here we go. A lot of heel work early on, like you said. And then they kind of just kicked it into super gear for the second half. And it was great, as you expect. Though they did do a lot of like great stuff, I thought, in the early half, like a lot of destroying Ospreay for the fake hot tag, and then they had to do another one, which I thought was a good play on. Still shocked that they won. Really am, but
not opposed.
No, I'm not opposed to Hangman Page versus Swerve and Hangman Page versus Will Ospreay again. Not at all. Though Ospreay seems to be out of action, so I can't imagine he's out of action too long. He's literally the entire ad for Forbidden Door. Which I don't know if you know, this New Japan's part of that show. But yeah, this I thought this started a great stretch of like good to great for the rest of the show, which I thought was nice. And I don't know what I end up having my second favorite match of the night yet, but this is in the conversation.
I think that's fair. Next up, what do you think of the AEW boat ride? Did you see the John Pollock post of what was actually said? Because no one really paid attention to what the announcer was talking about. Do you see what John Pollock wrote up about what they said for their boat ride?
No.
It was basically an anti-WWE speech written in this sort of flowery Revolutionary War language.
Nice.
I got it in front of me.
Okay.
The first sentence is, "We find ourselves engaged in conflict born of desire, power, and tyrannical control." Like, oh yeah, baby. I read that. I was like, yeah, there we go, baby. That's how we do it. Yeah, they talk more about it. We will not tolerate the greed of men who wish to tarnish this sacred ground. I was like, yeah, anti-WWE speech in Revolutionary War, 1700s time. That's what I'm talking about. Very good stuff. John Pollock has that write-up of what they said. Next up was the women's casino gauntlet match. Athena picks up the win. I think same thing.
Holy shit, that shocked me.
We thought Willow might win, but Athena again is like, all right, I'm also okay.
That's our fault. Never expect Willow to win.
Yeah.
She doesn't win. Just stop assuming it.
Sadly, I guess fair. We also got the biggest
pop of the entire show up until this point, by the way.
Yeah. We also got the sort of re-debut of Alex Windsor, but the official debut as a signed AEW talent. And we got the in-ring debut for AEW of Shuri, popping over from Stardom, making her, I'll say, I guess, U.S. excursion in America. She something to say about how she has to heal from her wounds, not working the Stardom schedule, but I'm sure Scotty's talked about that a bunch. But we got the debut, the AEW debut of Shuri in here as well.
Hey, I popped.
The back-to-back of Shuri and Alex Windsor was very fun.
That's pretty cool. They set this matchup way better than they did the men's in every way. One, the action never stopped. I feel like the action stopped too much in the men's one. I don't know why. Shuri pop was the best pop.
Yeah.
I have my complaints about how she's been handled in Stardom and such, but I'm just happy for her. She got a good reaction, which I was impressed by.
She got a good old pop that I was.
Yeah.
I think after there was a moment where she was sort of turned to the crowd. I think after working Mina a little bit, and the crowd was like, yeah.
I was like, okay, this isn't a lost cause. That was nice to feel. It feels like a lot of people wanted to wrestle her within the match itself, which I thought was very funny.
I don't blame them.
Her and Athena faced off, and I was like, all right, if this is all I get out of this entire little excursion, probably through Forbidden Door, I'm okay.
Yeah.
I'm okay. That's kind of what I expected. I said it last week. I've said it literally since she said it. I was like, oh, she's gonna be around for Forbidden Door, so I like being right. But she got a big stadium pop, so thumbs up here.
Logan James in the chat. Hello, I'm so happy Shuri joined AEW. I'm really hoping Tony Khan books her well. She deserves it. Tag team with Mina Shirakawa would be amazing too. That would be a strong, exciting Joshi duo. That does also lead into the women's tag titles, which Tony Khan seemed
hesitant about.
Eternal Pure in the chat as well. Shuri saw a 32-person Grand Prix and said, "No way, brother." I think is fair as well. We got excitement from Shuri.
Yeah, it was really cool. Both her and Alex Windsor got good pops, which I thought was really nice. Forgot Alex Windsor was debuting, so when her music hit, I was like, "Oh, that's a good one." Meanwhile, her fiance gets killed in the main event. It's tough. Tough day. Poor Ospreay. Ospreay had a hell of a night though, huh? So he has a great match. He has a great match and wins. His fiance debuts in AEW. He gets crushed in the main event, but it was part of the story.
Yeah,
and that's what matters.
This guy loves taking losses for a story.
He really does. He had to win early in the night. He's like, buddy, I'm still losing.
Oh, God. I'll find a way to lose, even if it's not in my match.
But I was really happy for really everyone in this match. I thought the women, they got 2 matches and they crushed it.
Yeah.
They got 2 matches on the night and they crushed it. Better Casino Gauntlet. We'll talk about the Women's World Title match in a bit. And I'm going to say it because I had been saying it. I thought Tekla would be better in AEW, and I was right.
Her and Queen Aminata, such an energy.
We need to figure out what we're doing with Queen Aminata, because she's way too good to just be taking falls.
Well, look, okay.
Did she lose here too?
I mean, in the Casino Gauntlet.
I don't remember. No, I don't remember who Athena pinned.
Oh, I don't remember. Legitimately, I don't remember who it was.
I just know she hit.
Maybe she pinned Mina. Didn't she do the O face or whatever she's calling it on Mina?
The what face?
I forget. The eclipse.
Mina, maybe. Let me look.
She called it the O face. I don't know if she's still calling it that. I want to say she
got a big pop. She got a big pop. I cannot find the one move that I'm looking for. Everyone's talking about Athena.
Eternal Pure in the chat. She pinned Mina. Thank you.
Oh, that's fine. Mina just won a belt. That's funnier.
I don't know if Mina was the right person for do that. Whatever.
Wasn't
I mean, I guess it's fine because at the end of the day, Scotty, that's the Ring of Honor World Champion pinning the Ring of Honor Women's TV Champion.
I mean, honestly, I was just hoping it wasn't Aminata, so that's fine.
Yeah. But I think you said it earlier. I think this match had way better speed as well. Obviously, it being shorter, but I think the speed of all the opponents in it was very good. Saying this about Shuri and also Alex Windsor, but especially Shuri, I don't necessarily expect either to be especially Shuri, maybe less so Alex Windsor, but I don't necessarily expect both of them or either of them to be, women's world champions in AEW while they're here.
Definitely not Shuri.
Yeah, no. Definitely not Shuri. Maybe Alex Windsor down the line, but at least not in the short term. But the inclusions of both of them, especially Shuri right now, is just a testament to the level of rise of this women's division. I was talking about it with the person that I was watching with that follows it. With people like Ty Mello and Thunder Rosa, it's like these aren't necessarily day one people, and they were great at the time and really good at the time. Or I guess I should say they were really good in like a fine division back in the day, but now the division is elevated so much and they haven't increased enough. So now they don't look as good by comparison. And Shuri, who is just coming in to be a hand, basically a good hand, who is probably going to lose more matches than she wins, is just going to wrestle a bunch of people and make them all better in the process. So that immediately her coming in is going to elevate the division even more, even if she's just here to, like I said, probably lose more than she wins at the end of the day. So
I think she's just here for a title match at Forbidden Door.
I think that's fair as well. I could see them building up to her versus
Mercedes.
Mercedes? That would make the most sense.
I mean, Mercedes is still a champion. We have to remember this. That's the funny part about that match. It's like, all right, she just kind of moves forward now.
Yeah.
Which is, again, my problem with her losing.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a moment. But yeah, I think Shuri, like I said, is an addition to the tournament, to the division, that she's going to wrestle on these shows and wrestle solid people, wrestle people and get everyone a little bit better.
Yeah,
I know,
for sure.
Turn Up here immediately disagrees, but definitely rejects my comment. Shuri coming in and being a good hand and lose more than she wins. Boo, no.
Yeah,
I
want
Shuri
being
to
a
win
good
more
hand
matches.
Hurts. Yeah, Shuri being a good hand hurts because she shouldn't be way more than that. But
I agree.
I mean, if she loses to Julia Hart, I might break something. Like if she loses to Julia Hart, we're gonna have a problem. But if she,
you're not gonna put someone into a world title when she's here for, I don't know, a couple months probably.
Well, that's what Forbidden Door is for.
Yeah,
she's not winning a title, but she's here. I legitimately think she's here for 2 months, and you're gonna build her up for Mercedes or Tony or Athena.
Mm-hmm. I guess,
and that'll be that.
To that end, you need her to win a bunch of matches, so she's probably gonna win more matches than lose.
Yeah, her and Queen Aminata will have some sick match on Collision.
Can't wait for that. Legitimately.
Then her and
they'll probably do her versus Tekla.
Then they'll do her in like a number one contenders match with like Tekla and Aminata and like Thunder Rosa, and she'll pin Thunder Rosa, she'll pin Aminata. Who am I kidding? And then she'll get the number one. Then she'll get the title shot.
Yeah, that's probably true.
That feels exactly like what's going to happen. They're going to build her up for a few weeks, right? A few nice wins, and then title shot, and then she faces Mercedes in a match that's fantastic, and then she goes back.
Yeah, is Shuri, would I love to see Shuri be the Tomohiro Ishii?
Can I get my bit off now?
What's that?
I have a bit to get off in a second. So
okay. Well, let me just finish. I'm just going to finish and say I would love to see Shuri develop and become just like the Tomohiro Ishii of AEW.
Oh, when they don't need her, she just comes back around.
Yeah. Why not?
wouldn't shock me, quite frankly, because that's pretty much how they treat her now. But
you had a bit?
I do have to get my bit off that back-to-back summers Sari beat a wrestler for a title and sent them to America. So that's pretty funny. Last year was Julia. Julia got the hell out of here, went to WWE. She beat Shuri. Shuri heads to AEW. Just saying. Funny how that happens, that she just sends people to America when she beats them.
I'm potentially fearful for whoever faces Shuri next summer.
It's a real fear now, because once there's 2, it becomes a theme.
Yeah, and then if we get to 3, that's a trend.
Let's avoid that next year. Sorry, just keep a title. Don't have to win one next year. Thank you.
AEW World Tag Team Title 3-way match. The Hurt Syndicate were successfully able to retain their titles, defeating Jet Speed and the Patriarchy. The big talking point afterwards is Nick Wayne officially turning on Christian Cage, and Adam Copeland. Cope makes his return. Was he referred to as Cope or Adam Copeland? I actually don't remember.
I don't remember either. If I heard Cope, I would have freaked out.
But either way, Nick Wayne turns on Christian Cage. They go to beat him down. Cope makes his return, and scares everyone away. Goes to save Christian Cage and then tells him to go find yourself, which is just the most shitty dialogue to sum up Adam Copeland, I think, as a wrestler and a performer. That I quite enjoyed the shittiness of his dialogue because it was so bad. Either way, the match itself, I thought was I thought the match was good. It was good. A little bit of a down slope, but not like a plunge.
I liked it.
I liked it as well. I liked it as well. I think I went like 3, maybe 3.25 on it. 3.25.
Yeah, I went 3.25, which was, you know what, kind of what I expected. I thought everyone put in good shift. Kind of crazy. The Hurt Syndicate won.
Yeah, how do we feel about that? You know, there was a lot of
this
people. There was a lot of people
the
sort
third result that I said, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. It just continued. There was a lot of people sort of setting up this idea of like the Hurt Syndicate not wanting to do jobs, all these sort of things. And
you don't have to do jobs if you're winning, brother.
I was like, well, I guess we're just gonna push that off into okay, I think this might just be a push, and the Hurt Syndicate are just gonna win all their matches.
So here's the thing. They're awesome. So like I don't care.
Yeah.
You know, like they were great in this match. So like I really don't care if they lose. It just really felt like that was the point of this match. And then they did it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's kind of crazy.
Yeah. I thought Jet Speed were very fun in this match. Kevin Knight,
especially. Yeah, they're great.
Again, Kevin Knight especially, always really great and fun to watch.
Yeah, he's great. They didn't get pinned. That was a win, right?
Mm-hmm. That was what Christian Cage, cool. I believe, got the pin, right?
Yeah, Christian Cage took the bullet on that one. Yeah, no, I thought this match was fun, and had this match opened the show, it'd probably be better in many people's eyes.
That is probably I could see that.
Hot open, because I think this would have classified as a good hot opener rather than a come down from the excitement of the Casino Gauntlet and leading into the big three. And also at this time of the show, I was so tired. Like, I don't know about anyone else, but I hit a wall at one point through the show, and I had to refresh myself. And this was the wall. I was like, "Ugh."
I can see it.
I've been sitting here for so long, and the big three are still coming.
Yeah. What do you think about the sort of turn on Christian Cage and the return of Cope?
Okay, reality. I still pop for Metalingus, so sue me. All right, just.
I agree.
Just happens. Edge doing his entire entrance before running down there, also funny.
It's like
him and Jeff Hardy.
Jeff Hardy.
Yeah. Jeff Hardy just did this though. Like he went back and forth. I'm like, Christian's about to die, dude.
Wait, Christian was about to die, and Adam Cope does this thing where he runs to like the left side, and he just have the camera following him. And I just said out loud, "He's going the wrong way." Cope, where are you going, buddy?
No, I said to myself, why isn't Nick Wayne just hitting him?
That's what I said. Because it cuts back to Nick Wayne and he's throwing the chair down. I'm like, what are you doing?
Like, use the chair, you idiot.
Even if you don't want to hurt Christian Cage anymore for whatever reason, Cope is coming out like he's hardcore hacksaw Jim Duggan with a barbed wire or a spiked bat, spiked wood 22x4 that he's gonna hit you with. Keep the chair around. What are you doing, buddy?
Yeah. So I did pop for it, and then I was like, oh, okay, he makes a save. Him and Christian. I was like, great. And then I start to like remember how I was feeling about Cope before all this. And then I look at the bat, and it has a logo that says Spike on it. The back of his shirt says Spike on. I'm like, okay, I'm getting annoyed. And then he says, go find yourself. And I was like, all right, fuck you, man.
I was thinking about that as well. Is that like, am I excited for Cope to be back in this company right now? No.
I'm excited for Edge and Christian. I can't lie.
Yes, that's what I was going to get to, is that I'm not necessarily excited for Cope the individual, but this is all building to the return of Edge and Christian. I'm into that. I'm excited. That's something different, at least, that I'm like, oh yeah, I'm being excited to see what that looks like now.
Christian makes everything around him better. So
exactly right.
Him and Cope are like the opposite of each other.
And I think obviously we're leading to, I would hope, FTR at All Out. There's a chance Nick Wayne and Kip Sabian, and I don't care for that. So
that can be an episode of Dynamite.
I agree. That's a good main event of Dynamite.
That can be their first big return tag, if you want, as a Dynamite match, but has to be FTR at Toronto.
I agree. So we'll see exactly what happens there as we move forward.
So, like, who's beating the Hurt Syndicate?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it could be Cope and Christian. It could be FTR. I mean, they're really teasing up the FTR of it all. But that's two heels. So
yeah. No, I do. That's That's why I'm confused.
Yeah, I don't quite know, but maybe it's someone from New Japan. Maybe it's Bishamon that are going to come in? Nope, maybe not Bishamon.
That the H in Hollywood stands for Hiroki Goto, so no.
Oh
movie
boy,
star, buddy.
Yeah, I think that I don't know.
Who would have thought, huh? You know, we always talk about like these big world champions in America go in Hollywood and they leave wrestling behind. Little did we know Hiroki Goto was going to do the same.
The enjoyment I got from reading that, like Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns are in this
50
movie,
Cent
and 50 Cent, Orville Peck, or I think is what his name is, and then Hiroki Goto. I'm like, huh?
You're damn right. You're damn right.
I want him to.
He
should come back to New Japan after this movie and come back with a Hollywood gimmick. The super dyed beard.
I just need one photo of him, Roman Reigns, and John Cena shooting the shit.
Yeah,
it's just a backstage photo of those three, like
the three of the guys.
They're just like, yeah,
living the dream, baby.
That would be worth it.
Goto, I assume Goto and Cody have worked each other a couple times. I have to assume, right?
I mean, you don't have to assume that. I'm sure they did in like a tag, you know.
Yeah,
probably a tag, right?
I would to be the fly on the wall with Cody.
One time,
they've wrestled
literally
one time. That's hilarious.
In Michigan.
Even funnier.
Beretta, Hiroki Goto, Rocky Romero, and Will Ospreay versus Cody, Hangman Page, and the Young Bucks.
Did you do Cody Rhodes or Cody? Oh no, you did Cody. Yeah, I'm looking at the match now. Dearborn, Michigan, for Ring of Honor. Oh boy, what a match! Was this match even good? Let's see. Does cage match have anything for this match? Was the main event not recommended yet? No ratings. I want to be able to fly on the wall with Cody introducing Hiroki Goto to Roman Reigns.
that I need. So Roman, this is Hiroki.
He's the former IWGP World Heavyweight Champion.
I just want Roman to be like, "Oh, I know who you are," and be like,
"Big fan."
All right, I don't want to make this. I do have to do this funny bit. I do have to do this funny bit.
Have you seen the oh shit, what's her name? The actress that played Gamora on Guardians.
Oh yeah.
Zoe Saldana. Have you seen that interview bit where someone's interviewing her and Zoe Saldana realizes who she is and is a big fan?
Yes.
I want that with Roman Reigns and Hiroki Goto.
To follow that up, the Red Sox played in Washington 2 weeks ago, and like some of the players went to the White House, and like so there's like this reliever, right? And his name's like Brennan Bernardino. He's just a guy. Like he's just a guy, okay? And he shakes the hand of Trump. Trump goes, "I know who you are." I was like, "You do not." That's what Roman Reigns and Hiroki Goto are going to do. That was my main point in all of that. By the way, you want to hear a crazier thing?
Sure.
The Red Sox are on a 9-game winning streak since that happened. Kind of crazy.
Yeah.
That's my team. Not everyone went, but that's my team. Anyways, moving on.
AEW Women's
How did we get to Hiroki Goto?
How do we not? AEW Women's World Title match. Toni Storm defeats Mercedes Moné. Interesting result. Scotty, reaction.
I disagree on the result. I just disagree. What is Tony? Why did Tony need to win? I'm not even mad. Like, I don't really care. It's fine.
You're yelling.
Yeah. Well, hey, listen. This is a podcast. You want me to do my job, or you want me to just be like boring? I can be boring.
No. I think you're doing a good job. The boring is me, Scotty.
Oh yeah. Like I just
well, don't agree so quickly.
I just don't get it. Like I don't get why Toni Storm had to be the first one to beat Mercedes Moné. Toni Storm is a 4-time AEW Women's World Champion.
Yeah.
4-time. The only good thing.
Go ahead.
Athena's winning now, right?
I think probably.
See, I find that to be cool. But if Tony beats Athena, then what are we doing? because listen, I've accepted Willow and Chris aren't beating anyone. Okay, we've moved on. Unfortunately, we can come back to that when we have a new world champion. I think Chris is going heel again, by the way.
I agree.
Which is hilarious thinking back to where we were a year ago at All Out when she was a heel.
Yep.
Had a great match. I don't know. I can't even think of like what the match was. I thought Mercedes had a fantastic performance. I thought Tony was not on her best game.
Yeah, I think this match did not,
which made her winning hurt me a little bit more.
This match didn't quite reach up to the expectations I kind of had for it. I still thought it was great. I think I went like, I'm definitely under than cage match and everybody else. I think I went like 4 flat. Maybe I went 4 1/4.
I went 4 flat, so that makes you feel better.
Yeah, I went 4 flat as well.
Does it make you feel better?
It does. It does. Right. I went 4 flat on this. I thought it was great, but it was like I was definitely expecting
it wasn't Tony's best day.
It didn't feel like it was Tony's best day. I think Mercedes Moné did a really good job as well. It was just sort of like, yeah, this was a great match, but
you wanted greater. You wanted.
I wanted this to be a significant match, and other than
especially because they told me it was the biggest women's match of all time.
Yes, and a triple main event,
and I said, "Excuse me,"
and it didn't.
I mean,
didn't feel like that.
You know why it didn't for me? It's because Tony won. Like if you just had it, like it didn't feel as monumental as it did when the match was over.
Yes,
for me.
Well, because it's like I think to make this match more monumental is for Mercedes Moné to win and be the only woman to hold the TBS and the world title at the same time.
Yep.
And having Tony win the match is just like, okay, everyone moves forward. Nothing, really changes. Everything moves forward. And this match didn't necessarily have to exist. Because then at that point, with Tony winning, it then becomes that the match lives and dies on the quality of the match. And the quality of the match was a little bit of a disappointment. It was still a great match, but a little bit of disappointment on expectations, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree.
And this is somebody who, has been literally thinking and talking about Mercedes Moné all week because I put out like a 2-hour podcast all about Mercedes Moné and her Hall of Fame candidacy.
I mean, her performance was Hall of Fame quality, if that makes anyone feel better.
Great worker.
She was truly fantastic, and it's still like my forever point with Tony. It's why I'll never 100% be like a super fan of hers like she has many of. I think she can be hit or miss, and I think she takes a number of matches to get it right with someone. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Like we saw with Mariah, for example. It took a few, they got there, especially in the last one. With Mercedes, I feel like if they ran it back again, which I'm sure they will eventually, it'll be much better. But yeah, just didn't hit the expectations, but I had very high expectations, so that's maybe on me. I also wanted the championship to change, and it didn't.
Look, I don't think it's as quite high expectations when they say this is the biggest women's match in the history of AEW.
Yeah, it's true. That isn't my fault. They didn't know. They said it's the biggest women's match in wrestling history.
Oh, my apologies, sir.
Wrestling history.
Yeah,
and
pretty lofty.
Obviously, I already have problems with that to begin with, but to live up to that,
not even American history, just history.
History.
Interesting.
They said it was going to change women's wrestling.
No, it didn't. The end result is it did not do anything. Everything stayed the same.
People can get mad at me. I think there's a good chance there's a better women's match tonight.
I think that also if Tony wins, she should have won the TBS title. Like I said,
you feel like something should have been won either side.
If this is a history changing, the biggest thing in history of all time, someone has to walk away with something more, right?
I don't know why the way you said that was so good, but if this is the biggest match in the history of time and space, and
surely someone has to walk away with something, and we're not just left like zero-sum result.
Yeah, when she hit the top rope. Also, can I just say she needs a new finisher?
Who?
Tony. Steamrolling Mercedes with 3 of them and just getting a kick out. She did that with Mariah too. Yeah. Like, clearly your move ain't working unless it's from the top, which, you almost kill someone. So hell of a move up from the top. I like it from there.
Yeah. That reminded me of a bit I wanted to say versus the Dustin Rhodes match, but continue.
Oh, do the bit.
Okay.
Right now in the middle of this review.
Yeah. The bit is that, you know how Dustin Rhodes does the Crossroads?
Yeah, I do.
You should rename the Crossroads the Dusty Trail. That's the bit. It's actually pretty. I think it's good.
That's a good one. No, that's a good one. I do like that every time he hits it, Ian Riccaboni goes, "Meet him at the Crossroads." It's like great bit. Yeah, but the match itself, I really did think it was an incredible performance from Mercedes specifically. I thought the closing stretch was really good. I just expected more out of the biggest women's match in the history of space, time, and Hollywood.
Because if that's the biggest match in time, space, dimensionalities, the multiverse. Where do we go? How do we top this? I think Twain Mac in the chat had a great comment that I really would have enjoyed, and I think would have been a cool thing to set up for like All Out. Which one? I lost it immediately. Could have had Monet win, then defend both belts in a 3-way, 2 out of 3 falls match. Winner of the first, I don't think about 3-way, but just the 2 out of 3 falls match, maybe. Winner of the first fall wins the TBS title, second fall for the World Championship. That sort of, that sort of. Oh, I see what he's saying. I see what he's saying for the match. I like that idea of doing like a 2-fall match for both titles. I think it's a fun idea. Because you can separate the titles away. Even with Athena winning, you could have had Athena separate with a world title from Monet down the line and done that. And
but these got to be throwing that thing in the trash, right?
Probably. Right now, I'm just sort of like, all right, that's it's fine. We just move on. It's just what it is.
Yeah. I do think Eternal has a good point of like these 2 matches were at a point where I was exhausted. I literally got up after this match and the next match and splashed my face with water.
Yes, Eternal in the chat says that they were dead at the beginning of the 3 main events because the show was so long.
I felt like it was midnight. It wasn't. It was 8:00. Mm-hmm. The night was young. It was a Saturday night, and I felt dead. But yeah, I still think Mercedes should have won. I'm upset that she didn't. I don't know what's next. And yeah, that's it. I mean, Toni Storm might face Shuri, which might break me.
I mean, I think that would be good.
Probably that, and then maybe Azumi comes in and faces Mercedes because
she beat her.
Yeah. If that feels like the other person that would come over. 2's more than the past. Listen, I don't have to worry about. Never mind. I just remember the IWGP still not going to be defending at Forbidden Door. Fuck yeah, that's awesome.
Should I love that.
Anyway. British people don't deserve her.
Eternal. Before we move on, Eternal Pure. Whenever my dad used to want to leave her grandma's house, he would used to say, "Stand up and go." Well, it's time to hit the old dusty trail, which is of course what Ian Riccaboni and Caprice would yell out. It's time to hit the old dusty trail.
You gotta get to Dustin and Dome.
Someone give me the phone number
before he loses all 3 of his belts.
Yeah, 3 belt Dustin. You want to hit him with the old dusty trail? I think it's great. Hit him with the old dusty trail. That's so good.
Anyway. The fact that Eternal said it was great gives Ryan more to keep going.
It's giving more juice.
Now every time Cody hits it, he's gonna say, "He hit the old dusty trail." I mean the Crossroads.
Anyways. For the unified title, winner take all match, Continental International. Still don't really understand. What's that?
I said, how stupid that just sounded. For the unified title.
Yeah, for the unified title and 2 other titles in a weird way. Triple Crown title.
Yeah, what are they doing, huh?
I don't know.
Why do they all exist?
Tony Khan, I think, said that
pages, all of them.
Tony Khan said they were going to get more explanation on Wednesday. He did also say that with the Continental Champion winning, this belt is going to retain the Continental rules of matches, like 20 minutes time limit, no run-ins.
Damn camera, and I saw this morning. I was like, oh, so we couldn't do the Continental rules for the match with Kenny Omega, but we can now.
Yeah, kind of
Sounds
BS.
good, man.
Kind of BS.
Sounds good, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
I need these 2 titles to disappear from existence because I see Okada 3 times on this roster page as champion. That's a lot.
I just realized that that
they added a title and they didn't get rid of any. Yeah.
well, no, I knew that they were going to do that, but I then realized, like, I jokingly said that this is a Triple Crown title. That's the new name of the unified belt. It's not going to be the AEW unified title. They'll get rid of all the other 2 and call the whole thing the AEW Triple Crown title.
I can live with that. They just are gonna have to change the belt design again.
I think I would live with that. The belt just needs to be 100 years old.
Yeah, they make that they destroy that the leather.
The belt needs to be so destroyed that Kenta Miyahara needs to go on Twitter and be like, "All right, we need a new belt."
It's called class. It's called yeah, no, they should do that. That'd be wicked funny. Okay,
I think that's probably what they're going to do is call it the AEW Triple Crown.
So you're probably right. And this was the final result that both shocked me, but also didn't.
I was fine with it, more fine with it than Tony Storm.
So
but
you
also
know,
shocking.
I agree on all that. You know what this told me, which was kind of talked about a lot during the week, but I didn't want to believe it.
What's that?
Kenny's body can't take being champion.
Yeah, I think we are, especially with the result of the match of like, oh, his body can't do it, and they kind of play that into the story. I think this is like
think that's him and how he wrestles now.
Yeah,
I think
his style has obviously changed slightly. But I just think like this is sort of like the highest level of this is like probably the last high level, extremely high level match we'll get out of Kenny Omega. Like, I don't know what other matches we're gonna get, but I'm not saying that we're starting.
This wasn't even like Kenny Omega high level.
Yeah,
this was very grounded for Kenny.
Yeah.
Like I so throughout this week, I was like thinking, you know, people were talking about it. I was like, okay, let me see the match. Let's see how this looks. And I think he might have overpushed himself in the Gabe Kidd match.
Mm.
And I think he's paying for it. I mean, obviously he's had the million injuries and the stomach thing that I can't remember the name of. Diverticulitis. So obviously all those have worked heavily on him. But he hasn't looked even remotely close to that Gabe Kidd match.
Yeah, I think the Gabe Kidd match was sort of proving something.
And his words of, had that been my last match, I would have been happy, tells me a lot.
Yeah.
It feels like he knew that was his last time in the Tokyo Dome. That was his last time in Japan. And he was like, I'm just going to give it my all. And we'll see where we're at after that. Because I thought Okada was the better wrestler in this match.
Interesting.
Because I thought Okada just looked like Okada.
Which is fun to hear after the AEW run of Okada.
Right. Well, Okada very much was like, oh, I'm in here with Omega. Woohoo. Like, you could just tell, like, I'm in here with someone I want to wrestle.
Yeah.
You know?
Like the Ibushi match.
Right. He bumped the hell off for Coda. And I know a lot of it was supposed to be selling anyways for Kenny, but there was a point in the match where he has Okada up for the one winged angel, and Okada's starting to do it, and he's trying to throw him off to do the suplex.
Oh,
and he fails. Yeah, he fails the first time, and they switch to him when he's going for it the second time, and there's this grimace on his face that looks so real and like, oh my god, type thing. Like, that's when I think it really hit for me of like, this guy is so much closer probably to his end than any of us want to be okay with.
I think Kenny Omega admits to that.
He does. If you listen to the Observer interview he did,
I did.
He's very open about that. Like, he sounds like he is
I would
winding down now.
I would say less than 5, maybe less than 3 years.
I think less than 3.
Yeah.
I think most of his big matches now are gonna be tag stuff.
I think that's plausible. I
I
I
think
I
he
I've been
I don't think he has it to do the big singles match anymore.
and to play into also what you're talking about is I think there's the Gabe Kidd of it all, but there's also the very obvious like Okada rivalry of it all of like
Yeah.
that also looms over this match. So in that regard, I can sort of see the expectations, all these sort of things of Kenny and all these sort of things and body. Um, yeah, I thought I've been thinking about that all week since the Observer interview and then watching this match as
Great
well.
interview, by the way.
Great interview.
That was
Um,
very
I've been thinking about like just sort of like this might just sort of be like a soft like winding down the road and like you know what kind of like other matches we can get out of Kenny before he officially hangs it up. Bushi is back. We can have Ibushi do it some tags, or even he can do a tag run with Ibushi if they so choose. Golden
That's
Lovers
kinda what
versus Cope and
I'm
Christian.
I'm think that's crazy. I'm not gonna say no, but that is crazy.
Yeah,
Um,
I would be fascinated to see what that
I'm
match looks
I'm
like.
more fascinated than excited for it,
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
yeah.
Yeah, I think that's, like, the first thing I thought of when Kota was out there. I was like, "They're probably gonna do tag run." But
Which I
here's the
think
thing,
it's a good idea for both those guys.
when the idea of this title was put together, which sounds like this match was planned in months in advance,
Yeah,
I think Kenny was supposed to win. I really do. Like, Okada held the Continental title for a year to get to this point, right? To go into this as strong as possible, probably to lose. Instead, he wins. And I saw a lot of people being like, oh, now it's 2-2-1. So now they're going to have to wrestle again. I was like, I don't know if Kenny has that in him unless that's like his last big shebang type match.
hmm
And if that happens, maybe like I could see that be like the last big singles match he wants, but I just don't know. I just don't know. This is the first time I've watched Kenny Omega and thought, man, we are much closer to the end than I wanted to admit for him as
yeah,
at least as a big match performer. I'm not
yeah.
saying like he's gonna wrap it up tomorrow. Um, but he's probably gonna be on the Danielson schedule without being inactive like Danielson is
Mhm.
of 2 big matches per year moving forward.
Yeah.
Everything else is either he's missing the shows or tag, which is
Yeah.
fine.
Look, I mean, I think the Ibushi of it all is the next probably final big storyline of his career. Because that you can
Yeah.
play that out literally, Scotty, and just in a weird way, almost do like a reverse image of the Hangman Omega stuff, where you can have the Golden Lovers reunite. They go on a tag run. They win the tag belts. They go on a run there. You can have a turn because at the end of it at some point they both probably want to do a Bushi versus Omega.
One
So how
more
are you going to
time.
get there?
That's
Uh,
terrifying to think about.
yeah, so you have to think that like the Golden Lovers is probably his last big
Yeah,
storyline of his
yeah,
career, and that's probably and knowing as much as I know about Kenny Omega, he would probably like that to be
yeah,
true. I think he would prefer that to be the last thing. Um,
yeah, yeah,
It
I
would be a
mean,
good full circle moment on his career.
when he said the thing about the Gabe match, I was like, "Man, I would never admit to Gabe Kidd being my last match." Um, but, like, that was, like, the idea of, like, thinking to that performance, and it kinda, like, again, clicked in. So, this is kinda where I'm at now. Hear me out. I think AEW with this show established who the top stars are of this company moving forward are. None of them include the elite. It is Hangman. Well, I guess Hangman's longtime elite, but you get my point.
Yeah.
Hangman, Osprey, Swerve, Monet, Storm. Those are your big five, right? Storm beat Monet, so I have to put her in there.
Yeah.
Um, those are your big five moving forward, right? Those are kind of everything revolves around them. Those three in the men's, those two in the women's,
Yeah.
right? And everything else is whatever, which is fascinating because obviously Kazuchika Okada is your second world champion now. Um, and it still doesn't feel like he was supposed to win. Like when he won, I was just like, what?
Yeah.
I was like, this belt was not built for you, and no one will convince me otherwise. This was all built for you. For me, I always thought this was for one last Kenny World title run, truly. But now Okada's champion, and I pivot to, okay, then where the hell are we going? I think we're going to Mr. Takeshita eventually. I think that's probably
they've
the
been
pivot.
teasing that as well, and I think that's the most obvious thing is we're heading down the pipe of Takeshita Okada, which, hey, fine by me. To me, that reads as, okay, this belt is still going to maintain the Continental rules. To me, that almost reads that then the Continental Classic at the end of the year is going to be for this belt, right? So
I hope it's for a shot at the belt.
Yeah. I don't think Okada necessarily should be in the.
I don't like the idea of defending it through the tournament again.
Agreed. I would like to see then Takeshita wins the Continental Classic.
Yeah.
Goes on, faces Okada at whatever show.
Yeah.
And then that's that. And then we move on.
I agree. I think that's like the one lone big match for Okada right now. And that's probably what you should build towards. How'd you like the match?
I thought the match was great.
Forgot like we didn't talk about that. Yeah, this is the ultimate match that I want to actually rewatch from the show because I really liked the work.
Yeah. I went 4.5 on it, by the way.
Oh wow, okay. Great work from start to finish. Right? The working of the stomach, the gut, right?
Yeah.
And
from the beginning throughout, Kenny selling it like death again.
Now, Eternal can attest to this. I did threaten to take out Don Callis because I was like, please stop getting involved. For the love of God, stop getting involved. He didn't, so it's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I might be crazy. I think they had another like 5 minutes of final stretch ready to go. So that's why when
Scotty wants this show to be longer? What?
No, but like these two, I kind of just expect 40 minutes and they didn't get there. This was their second shortest match ever at 31 minutes.
Yeah. Which I mean, makes sense. Which makes sense to a certain degree, right?
By a lot there, because obviously their other 3 are 45 plus.
I think it was just like, these guys I think are masters of the long form match construction. And I think even though this is on the shorter side of things, this was sort of the complaint we've had on the show with Okada is that I don't think Okada's good at short TV matches. This guy's better at these long form things, and it's like, proved yet again here.
Literally his style.
Yeah, his style was the long form matches. You've got to put him in positions for him to just have these 30-minute classics.
Yeah, which I have no problem with because, like I said, I thought he was the better wrestler in the match.
Eternal Pure actually just messaged real quick. He said, Scott actually messaged me during the show saying he wanted to go the whole thing to go another hour. There we go.
I just want everyone to remember Ryan thought this would be 4 hours long. He was 2.5 hours off. Tough. Yeah, no, like
the match itself was great.
It was. It's like I said, it's the match. I watched the main event again this morning for fun instead. I don't know, maybe because I was filling with glee. But this is the one I do want to watch again, mostly to see how much Don Callis actually didn't bother me. I just remember him, and I was like, "You son of a bitch,
you rascal, you!"
Obviously, the One Winged Angel spot pulling him out, so it's like Omega had it won type thing. Makes it think you like eventually you go back to it. I just don't know if there's even a reality where that's possible.
Me neither.
Okada better be on Forbidden Door in a real match, though. He wasn't last year. He was in a tag match. I know, like, we've been doing this whole, like, Okada doesn't stay involved with the New Japan stuff, right? He didn't go over to the Tokyo Dome or anything. Enough.
I agree.
Enough. We're going to Forbidden Door. You're the second biggest champion in the company.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta be on that, and you gotta face someone. Let him pick his opponent because I know he's not picking a young guy. So let him pick his opponent. He probably would pick Hiroki Goto, who's not around, so that's tough. But yeah, just like I don't know. Okada's a champion now. I know he's been champion, but now he's a top champion. right? This is a title that everyone has been saying, oh, this is like a second world title, which I agree with. It is a second world title. So if that's the case, you got to have him involved on Forbidden Door. Thank you.
I'm just looking over real quickly just to see who would be a good opponent for Okada at Forbidden Door. And my answer is probably going to be, I was jokingly going to say Evil, but then I looked at Dave Finlay and I was like, oh,
Dave Finlay also has never been involved in any Forbidden Door stuff.
David Finlay, huh? That's just looking closer and closer, being like, this.
You gotta give Okada someone that he's gonna want to face. So
yeah, I don't know who that's necessarily gonna be. Evil was the only other person that I was like, oh, you could probably want to face Evil. You know, he's had some series. I don't know if he necessarily likes working Evil, but I assume gotta get Evil on one of these shows. House of Torture, baby. Other than that, I don't really know per se. Sonata, I don't know. Shingo. Maybe.
I can see that.
Maybe Shota Umino just to fucking kill me. I don't know. Somebody for sure. Yoshihashi, maybe, perhaps.
Yeah, here's the thing about Forbidden Door. I have no interest in the show, truthfully. When it comes to the New Japan side of things, I'm sure New Japan fans also don't have any interest in the show. So
okay, then I'll counter with this. Maybe it should be Kazuchika Okada versus Mystico.
Well, congrats. We have a new unified champion, folks.
All right, let's move on. We're at a 2-hour marker, so we got to move on.
That's it. Show's over.
No, we got more shit to talk about real quickly because I know it's gonna be quick. 2 other shows that we want to talk about. We can get through this super quick, and I think it's good in terms of the comparison point. Saturday night's main event from WWE. Same exact show happened right after All In Texas. 12,500 people decided not to go see All In Texas, instead go to Atlanta, Georgia, and State Farm Arena. This was a 4-card show.
Ryan included, guys. That's how he knows that Ryan actually went.
Yeah.
He watched the main event of All In on his phone at the arena.
Well, during Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton. You know, I was so focused. You know, it was a struggle for me because I was so focused on watching the match on my phone, and then I saw Jelly Roll, and I was like, yeah, that's a future SummerSlam main eventer right there. Anyways, no, I did not. Randy Orton defeats Drew McIntyre. Solo Sikoa defeats Jimmy Uso. LA Knight defeats Seth Rollins, and Gunther defeats Goldberg. This show, I thought, so Scotty, the thing I want to tell you is that I obviously finished All In Texas right after, finished the show, did some house chore stuff, and then went and watched Saturday night's main event. 45 minutes later, I finished Saturday night's main event. I watched all the wrestling. I skipped all the entrances, the promos, whatever, you know, all the commercials. And of a 2-hour show, 45 minutes later, I watched the entire show. The show stunk. You have celebrities fighting each other on the outside in the opener, which apparently that's now a tag team match at SummerSlam. You had Solo Sikoa versus Jimmy Uso in the Bloodline feud, which continues to go on forever. The Bloodline started during the pandemic, folks. This is a 5-year-old gimmick. LA Knight defeats Seth Rollins, and sadly, but notable, obviously, Seth Rollins blows his knee out supposedly during the match. Hurts his knee, starts hobbling around, does a very quick finish of the match, and was unable to really compete the rest of it. Had to be helped to the back afterwards, so he probably blew out his knee. We don't know exactly what happened, but he's probably gone. A guy that's in the midst of a big time push in the company. And then Gunther versus Goldberg, surprisingly better than you would expect. A 15-minute match. Goldberg, despite limping and walking around and everything before, literally got shot up with something, some sort of steroid or something, because he didn't really hobble around too much. I think it was like, it wasn't a great 4 or 5-star classic or anything. This was a very serviceable match, but way better than I think you would expect with a guy like Goldberg. in a main event doing a 15-minute match versus Gunther, who hasn't done this kind of match since 2003. It was, a completely fine match, but all in all, this show stunk. I posted this online. This show had big WCW rough days vibes. Like I said, you have celebrities fighting. You have a 5-year gimmick. You have a gimmick way long in the tooth. You have and a shell of its former self. You have a major star getting injured. You have Goldberg in the main event. This was a love letter to the rough days of WCW for Triple H. The booking he's doing is really bad and boring. Scotty and I talked about this last time we reviewed a Saturday Night's Main Event. That show stunk, and there's no real point in discussing these shows because they're stinky. And I said, I agree. Let's maybe just wait out and watch the next one just to see. The next one happened to be Goldberg's retirement match, so it was like, okay, yeah, we'll definitely watch that and talk about it for sure. And then it turns out that this one was stinky as well. Scotty is out right now. His video's off, so I'm sure he's going to take a big old poop. He's not going to hear that. He doesn't listen back to the podcast. But I think, I can confirm, I don't think we're going to be discussing these Saturday Night's Main Events moving forward until the quality of these shows get any better. I mean, these shows are just stinky poo-poo. Very quick watches and very quick reviews and stuff, but no one has to be watching these shows. Really. I mean, I watched it. Goldberg retirement match. That's a notable thing. I'm going to watch that, right? I know Scotty watched that too, so I'm sure he has thoughts on it. But the show itself overall, this is just stinky. Who gives a shit? I said, look, this is the same day these shows, NXT apparently was better. This is the same day where AEW and WWE, or WWE is trying to encroach on AEW and counter program with this sort of show. And this show, their presumably biggest show of the weekend in terms of their viewpoint, you would have to think. I assume that WWE thinks more highly of Saturday Night's Main Event than NXT TakeOver. I assume they think of this more highly than Evolution based on how they're treating Evolution. This show stunk. And like I said, it felt like the rough days of WCW. And that was WWE's big presentation to counter program AEW having a show of the year contender, an all-time match in the main event, an all-time moment in the main event for the history of AEW. And it is just sort of like, yeah, I think this is the state. I think for me, I can confirm that we have officially bounced back. If you're an AEW fan, we've officially bounced back. AEW to me is back to the quality that it once was, and WWE is back to the quality of stinky poo-poo.
Sorry, I had to take a big old Saturday Night's Main Event.
You didn't hear what I said.
I heard what you said. No, I heard what you said. I have my headphones on. I listened to the show, so bite me, buddy. Good try though. But that Saturday Night's Main Event was a layup. Yes, yeah, WWE sucks. Is that what we were saying?
Pretty much. I think
that being said, everyone should watch Evolution because you got to prove them wrong.
Yeah.
Please.
I think the women will go out there and kill it more than this entire card.
Saturday Night's Main Event is a useless show that will just simply waste 2 hours of your life if you watch it in full. But if you watch it on delay, you're probably wasting 30 minutes.
I can confirm, Scotty, it was 45 minutes. I did the math, by the way. Granted, AEW pay-per-view, 69%. Nice. 69% of the show was wrestling. It was in-ring competition for that show for All In Texas. Granted, this show is on cable, so there are commercials as well. Saturday Night's Main Event, a third of the program devoted to wrestling, and all of that wrestling was bad. Was replacement level bullshit. I assume you heard as well. There's no reason to cover these anymore.
No.
Until the quality turns around.
If I had it my way, we'd just pick and choose most WWE shows that we cover at this point. Tough to say when SummerSlam's right around the corner, but I digress.
Talk about SummerSlam,
Yeah. It's nice to see WWE falling flat on their face, though. I can't lie.
Yeah, it turns out Triple H, the fastball, long gone.
Yeah, he stinks. Yeah.
And many people are turning. It's not just us. I've seen WWE fans starting to be like, all right.
Well, you can't turn if you weren't a big fan to begin with, Ryan. So yeah, I think it's really funny that they ran the show at the same time as AEW, quite frankly. When AEW has their biggest main event ever and all that comes with that, they have Goldberg wrestle way longer than he probably should have.
Mm-hmm. I better than I thought he would have done, since for a guy who can barely walk.
Hey man, I watched one match in full on this show, and if we're gonna be mean or generous to anything, I'm gonna shout out Goldberg. He did probably the best he could at 59 years old or however old he is, 3 years removed from the ring, and clearly with a knee that doesn't work. So, yeah,
58 is his age.
58, yeah, 58. The guy, remember, stopped wrestling for 20 years, anyways, to begin with. Came back for some nice paychecks. Good for him. Take the money from them and run.
How close are we going to get a who I forget the other guy's name, but the son of Scott Steiner who's in the NIL program?
Oh, the Rex Steiner.
Yeah. How soon are we going to get Rex Steiner and Gage as a tag team?
Probably soon. Gage is definitely going to be a wrestler.
His back.
That kid is huge. Just like if this kid doesn't make the NFL, or even if he does, he's gonna be a wrestler eventually, one way or the other. He's built.
19 years old, his back was just massive, and I was like, yes, yes, baby, that's what I'm talking
about. Yeah, I mean, good for Goldberg.
Yeah,
I don't think he could have really asked for much more out of a retirement match, quite frankly.
Yeah,
he got his little beats in. He's slow. He's not Goldberg anymore. That's why he's retiring.
Yeah.
Yeah, good for him.
It was the best he was going to be able to do, and I'll give him that.
Yeah. Poor Seth as well.
Yeah, I don't know Seth blew out. I assume you watched the footage as well.
Yeah, we don't know if he blew out his knee, but it certainly isn't good.
Yeah, didn't feel fake in any capacity. Didn't feel kayfabe.
No.
And even if it was kayfabe, I don't know why you would do that as a story beat.
No, I don't either. Fascinating to see what they're gonna do now, because obviously that was their big angle, was him as Money in the Bank and stuff. Yeah, I don't know, man. Tonight's main event stinks.
Yeah, not a good show.
I'm happy we don't have to watch him or talk about him anymore, at least.
Yeah, I'm writing it off the calendar. You know what I'm not writing off the calendar, and that is the Ring of Honor pay-per-view, Supercard of Honor, because that was a great show with a great main event.
You know, my hot take.
Sure.
Most of that show was an easy watch.
Yeah.
But I thought that in terms of pure wrestling on the entire weekend, nothing beat the Ring of Honor main event.
Yeah, great.
Unfucking real match. Unbelievable. These two. Bandito, my God. When he walked out with that entrance gear, I was like, oh, he is going to put on a show.
But he walks out constantly, I cannot move.
Can't move where this is going down. And he wears the trunks, and I was like, oh shit, this guy's ready for action. And then what a freaking match. This match broke me out of my men's tweeting slumber that I don't do. I was like, this is something else. I mean, these two are incredible.
Yeah,
incredible. It made me watching the full show worth it, because sometimes I was like, okay, this show's like fine.
No, I thought the top down the whole show was really, really strong. Like, I think there was a lot of there wasn't.
Well, I don't like Michael Oku.
I thought that opener was great. I literally sat there thinking to myself, where has this guy been? Why are we giving Michael Oku 30-minute classic main events? Give him 10-minute openers, because he is going to fly and run and have the speed and quickness that I want to see in this guy. Jesus Christ. And Hechicero and him have great chemistry. I love that opener.
The Universe Thunder Rosa gets 7.88.
Yeah, that wasn't as strong.
I don't think Thunder Rosa was very good.
I thought the opener was great. I thought Teton Nick Wayne was great.
Yeah, so I haven't seen that match. I fell asleep.
Oh, watch it. I went.
I'm going to. I plan on it. I was told that was one of the best matches from the show consistently. So I was like, okay, I will go back and watch it. I saw everything else though.
The women's 4-way and the men's 4-way were both fun. I thought Blue Panther Lee Moriarty was good.
That was good. Tag stunk.
Yeah.
Dustin Rhodes and Sammy Guevara had a hell of a weekend.
Sammy Guevara, big old nerd.
Sammy Guevara,
fucking nerd. I like texting. He does like the Superman bit, and I'm like, this guy's a fucking nerd.
Like, dude, you're not Superman. How?
You're in the middle of like a blood-esque feud with the infantry, and you're doing Superman cosplay.
How is Sammy Guevara? That's a good one. How is Sammy Guevara the pillar that'll never die? Like, if it was gonna be between him and Jack Perry, I understand we have our thoughts on the scapegoat.
Yeah, big fans.
But I much rather see him than Sammy Guevara.
Yeah.
Like, how is he the one that's taken out from pro wrestling as a whole? I'm not even saying like
making knives.
Like, Sammy Guevara is where he should be, in Ring of Honor. But he also had 2 matches in the stadium the next day. I understand one of those weren't planned, but still, my point remains. Also, the pillars, hilarious to think back about. Holy hell, did they miss with that?
They should have put Bandito in that 4-way, take him out of the gauntlet. Take some of the guys out of the gauntlet, put him in the 4-way. Roddy Strong, Bandito.
You literally could have taken the Sons of Texas out and just put the other 2, put 2 with those 2, and it would have probably been a great match. Whatever. Yeah, the women's 4 was cool.
I think the show had real show of the year contender because I had like 3 great matches, a lot of really good matches, really fun stuff, and the tag match was whatever, but ultimately I think this was a really good, strong show. Not the best show of the year in my opinion, but I think this was like a top 5 show of the year for me.
Whoa.
Yeah, I really like this show a lot.
Whoa.
Well-rounded is the word I would use for it.
Oh, that's a good word.
And the main event, like you said, was fucking baller.
Yeah, the main event was like unreal type shit. It was like, oh, they're gonna set the precedent for the rest of the weekend, and then they did what they did, and I was like,
yeah,
good luck.
I will say a little like 1 to 2 or 1 too many like false finish bits for me. It was just like a little bit of like, it felt like they missed the peak just a smidge. But other than that, I was like very strong. I think it went like 4 3/4. So it's like, other than that, I think they missed.
Yeah. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't perfect.
But it was too many false finishes. But then once they were able to get,
I mean, the match was unreal. I mean, those 2 are unreal. Bandito, since he's come back, has been sensational. And just to point out what everyone else was pointing out, I think the last world title match on the Ring of Honor pay-per-view is Chris Jericho versus Matt Cardona, and now we're here. It really shows you how much this company and who's running it all of it has changed, even down to Ring of Honor since then.
Yes.
I was really scared Jericho was going to come out during this Casino Gauntlet, by the way.
I put that in your mind.
Yeah. Happy he did it. But yeah, this was a fun show, top to bottom. Yeah, definitely didn't feel like a waste of my time.
No,
which was nice. No. Definitely wasn't a big old Saturday night's main event. But yeah, the main event was unreal.
Yeah,
and one of my favorites of the year, truthfully. Bandito rules, Takeshita rules. Now Takeshi's off to the G1.
Yeah, G1 this weekend, of course. Block A, I assume it's a Block A, Block B sort of situation, Saturday and Sunday. We'll talk about more of those. We'll talk about those sort of matches. At least night 1. See how much we can do with night 2 next week, of course, on Ring Post Radio. Maybe we'll preview TNA Slammiversary.
Did we preview the G1?
I don't think we technically did. We did talk about the blocks.
But all right, pick your winners right now. Gun to your head. Pick your winners right now.
Hold on, let me pick up the
gun's at your head. You're running out of time.
I need to look at the blocks. I need to remember who's in it. The problem is like I originally thought like Takeshita or even like Tsuji had a good shot. You have Goto out now Zack Sabre Jr. I mean, a big legitimate fear of mine. Okay, here's the thing, Scotty. Who do I want to win? Takeshita.
Oh, shit, your show of the year's next weekend.
Teenage anniversary, I know. I really want Takeshita to win. I really would like Tsuji to win.
Yeah.
I would even love to see David Finlay win. I think that would be fun as well.
But is there a but here?
I really fear that Shota Umino was winning. That is a big fear of mine right now, especially since they're in the same block as the champion, but also like there's this weird the playoff tournament nonsense that they're doing. I'm very weary. I'm very scared. This year has been the two of them wrestling all year long. I don't care for it.
So I just want everyone to know that I'm looking at the first night card, right?
I'm pulling up right now.
This is a show where Drilla Maloney versus Great Khan's happening. And yet I stare at El Phantasmo versus Shota Umino and I say that match right there is going to be the worst. Oof.
That's not
David Finlay versus Ryohei Oiwa though. Huh?
That gets me going. That gets me going for sure. I'm pulling up the last couple cards as well.
Zack Sabre Jr. versus Ren Narita is the semi-main event.
That's pretty good.
What?
I didn't hear what you said.
Zack Sabre Jr. versus Ren Narita. You walked away saying that's pretty good.
That could be very good.
The main event is Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Taichi, so I at least know what the match of the year is.
Yeah.
Or the match of the tournament, so that's real. Old man business type shit. Let's see what day 2 looks. Oh my god.
I'm trying to pull up. I'm just gonna pull up the last show. So the first two nights we have what is this? This is this Saturday the 19th. The card is as follows: Yoshihashi versus Shingo Takagi, Callum Newman versus Evil, Great Khan versus Drilla Maloney, Yuya Uemura versus Oleg Bolton. Big old circle on that one. Shota Umino versus El Phantasmo. Big old X on that one. Ryohei Oiwa versus David Finlay. Big old circle on that one. Gabe Kidd versus Takeshita. Smaller circle. Reasonable size.
How you have changed by the way this year.
Okay, fine. Big old circle on that one.
No, I like that you changed.
Tsuji versus Sonata, Zack Sabre Jr. versus Ren Narita, Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Taichi is night 1 there. Night 2. So I guess what for you? What are your big old circles on that one? On night 1? Yeah.
Tanahashi versus Taichi.
I mean, yeah.
I'm here for Taichi. Taichi should win the whole shebang. David Finlay versus Oiwa.
Yeah.
And Yuya versus Big Bolton.
Yeah, I think those are all pretty fair.
Shingo Takagi versus Yoshihashi is actually very real. My apologies. That's very real. Very real.
Gotta respect. Night 2 is going to be continuation of this. This is going to be Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Callum Newman. Shota Umino versus...
circling that thing.
You're circling it?
No.
I was shocked. I thought you were like, I was like, huh?
All right, I'm going to circle along the way. Let's see. Go.
All right, Shota Umino versus Jill Maloney. Put the pen down.
Throw the pen away.
Bolton Oleg versus Ryohei Oiwa. Big circle on that one. Yoshihashi versus Ren Narita. David Finlay versus Sonata. Shingo Takagi versus Great Khan. Oh boy. Yota Tsuji versus Evil. Small circle. It's a small circle.
Little circle.
El Phantasmo versus Takeshita. Small circle. They have a history of a rivalry.
Takeshita usually carries them.
Yeah, but they have a small little rivalry that like there could be something. I need something on the show, you know. Taichi versus Yuya Uemura.
Big circle.
Big circle, baby. And then the main event: Zack Sabre Jr. versus Gabe Kidd. Little circle, maybe.
They're in the same faction.
They are in the same. Gabe Kidd and Zack Sabre Jr.
I thought you said David Finlay, not Zack Sabre Jr. I don't know.
Even they aren't in the same faction. I don't know what you're talking about.
David Finlay and Gabe Kidd are in the same faction.
Yeah, you said you misspoke. Instead of getting Gabe Kidd the second time, you said Zack Sabre Jr.
Whatever. You want to hear the Korakuen card?
Sure.
They have 2 Korakuen dates. The playoffs are one of them, which that'll be cool.
I also have the last night as well.
Lock in. This is just a block. Lock in. Get your pen ready.
That's the good block. To be fair, that's
get your pen ready. Get your pen ready.
Pull it out. Grab my pen.
Taichi versus Cal Newman. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Little circle.
Bolton Oleg versus the King of Darkness, Evil.
Little circle. I don't know how that will be. I'm a little circle.
Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Sonata.
Okay, I'm gonna put my pen down.
Yuya Uemura versus Ryohei Oiwa.
Big old circle, baby.
And your main event, Yota Tsuji versus David Finlay.
Big old kind of circle. That they have I think that's a big old circle for me.
Yeah,
was their last match a disappointment, or am I confusing with something else?
I think I'm confused with Suji. That was Suji and Gabe.
Yeah, big old circle, David Finlay and Suji.
Yeah.
That's a good main event.
Finlay consistent. Yeah.
The last night of actual action is. Oh no, I'm mistaken. I thought it was A and B block. It's actually just B block. So let me pull up.
Oh God. Oh, I
A
don't
block
like this
as well. August 13th is the last night of B block action. This is, I guess, where we can have a little bit of a conversation of who's going to win this tournament. But with a playoff thing, it's more of a I have no idea. It looks like the last night of block A action is going to be August 10th. That's going to be. Get your pen ready, Scotty. Oh yeah, get your pen ready. Get your pen ready.
It's ready.
Yuya Uemura versus David Finlay. That's a big one for me, baby. Taichi versus Bolton Oleg.
Wait, you said that was the final night?
This is the final night of Block A.
Oh, what was the second one?
Taichi versus Bolton Oleg.
Big old circle.
Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Evil.
Big old circle for your boy. That shit rocked at Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yota Tsuji versus Callum Newman. I'm a small circle.
My pen's gone. I threw it.
Ryohei Oiwa versus Sonata. Maybe that could be good.
Ryan's giving a little smidge.
I'm putting a period.
What's the A block final day?
Well, that's the Block A last night of Block.
Oh,
B.
what's the B?
Block B?
Sorry. Yeah.
Block B, August 13th. We have Jesus Christ. Put your pen down immediately. Shota Umino versus Great O'Khan.
Oh,
fuck out of here! Get the fuck out of here!
Oh, that's a big old Saturday night's main event, baby.
A big old X.
Big old stinker.
Oh boy. Yoshihashi versus Zack Sabre Jr. Yeah, little circle maybe.
Shut up, big Yoshihashi.
Depending on Yoshihashi's performance in the tournament, you know.
Well, Yoshihashi's better than Zack Sabre Jr., so I count on him doing great. Here come the people trying to hit me.
Scotty, I fear you're not going to put your pen up for anything. Konosuke Takeshita versus Ren Narita. Oh. Shingo Takagi versus Drilla Maloney. It's a small circle. It's a small little circle.
Just say the worst match of all time next, please.
El Fantasma versus Gabe Kidd.
Oh my god.
The last night of Block B is an entire show Scotty will skip.
Oh my god. Thank God they do the playoffs.
We talked about this last time, I think, with the playoffs, is that the thing about the playoffs is that I'm less excited for the actual G1 tournament because now it's just kind of all right, I don't really know how to break down a preview of this. Because because we're going to do another tournament at the end. So, who really cares? If we don't know, the tournament playoff is going to be Cracker and Hall, second place Block B, third place Block A. They're going to be facing each other. And then second place Block A versus third place of Block B. The winners of those matches face at the semifinals August 16th against the winners of Block A and Block B. And then the winners of all of that or I guess the number one scores of Block A, Block B, and then the winners of all that can go off. So you can have in the semifinals 2 Block B people facing each other, 2 Block A people facing each other. It's just like a lot of like, well, then I have no idea. Because like Zack Sabre Jr. is in Block B, but someone from Block B can also win the whole damn thing. Someone from it could be, the finals could be Block B versus Block B for all I know. You know what I mean? Like, I really don't know how to break this down in any capacity because it really could just be anybody versus anybody in the finals. And it's also the top 3 of 6. What is this? Not 6-man blocks, 10-man blocks.
Yes.
So I don't know. I have no idea who this is going to be. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, 10-man blocks. I have no idea who's going to win this tournament. I have no idea what's going to happen. And I kind of think this tournament is skippable. Watch the big matches, maybe watch the main events. I don't think I'm going to be watching every single match this tournament. I'll be honest.
Oh, I sure as hell no, I'm not.
Like I said, that entire last night of Block B, I know you're skipping.
Like, you'd have to pay me actual money to watch certain people's matches to begin with. And I already got to watch 2, like, in full. So, yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah. I'm me. I'm going to watch the main events. I'll watch a match that gets some high praise, or I'll watch a match that maybe intrigues me outside of that. But otherwise, the days of me watching every single tournament match is it's not happening this year, I think.
It's over. You're going to watch the whole N1 instead.
Oh, yeah. I'm locked in for the N1, of course.
Ozawa's first N1.
Mm-hmm.
Probably, unless he's not in it, which would be
I was about to say, I don't think they announced participants yet.
I don't think they did either. That starts in September, though. They were smart. They said, let's wait till everything else is done.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah, that's going to start next week. We'll review at least the first nights. I'll try to watch the full nights of G1, night 1, night 2. I don't know if we'll be able to watch night 2 in full when we have to record in the morning. But
what are we going to talk about next week? Anything good?
G1, night 1, night 2.
Sides that.
Evolution. I guess we'll review Evolution. A little ice cold Evolution take.
Evolution is a mystery.
I guess we'll preview TNA Slammiversary for that night.
No.
That's kind of it, Scotty.
I don't think we will, Jim. I don't think we will.
No. I think we will. I think we will.
Holy mother of God! Isn't Summer Sizzler the one with Naito and Mercedes?
What?
Rev Pro.
Oh, yes. I don't have that written down. Is Rev Pro happening this week?
The 25th. So you
not next week. We'll preview that next week, presumably.
Oh my God, Michael Oku versus Ricky Knight Jr. sounds unbelievably brutal.
A 3-year match in the making. Yeah, I haven't even looked at the card.
How about that?
I haven't even looked at that card to see.
Well, they have 2 matches total, so don't worry about it.
Okay, great. Young Guns versus Grizzly Young Vets is kind of interesting to me. Anyways, well, we'll talk about all that stuff and more next week for sure. Scotty, give us some match of the weeks. Give us the plugs, the pluggaroonies.
Sure. Match of the week. I caught up on a lot of wrestling this week.
Cool.
Which was pretty cool. Finally watched Hiroki Goto lose the title. That was pretty sad. That's a big old bummer. I don't really want to say that match, though it was really good. Oh, I did watch an old match this week. What was it?
I don't know.
Why don't you know?
I've decided I'm not going to be able to read your mind today.
Why do I pay you the big bucks?
You pay me?
Oh, so I rewatched Utami versus Io because today is the year anniversary of that show, which is pretty cool. You know that? Now she's main eventing Evolution tonight. Yeah, isn't that pretty crazy?
It's a mystery.
Isn't that pretty crazy? One year ago, she rose to Japan. Now she's main eventing the show with Rhea Ripley for the world title and hopefully losing. So that brings me to my you want to hear something crazy? There was a match I liked from Current Wrestling. I'm not saying what promotion it was in, but it was Billy Starks, Megan Bayne, and Miyu Yamashita versus, get ready for this, Marcus Mathers, Alec Price, and Jordan Oliver.
GCW.
We're not saying GCW match. We're not saying
that Dave gave 4.5 stars to.
It was really good.
Yeah, I heard
it was like
great things about it. And I was
it
like,
was like a PWG type match.
Really?
Megan Bain rules, by the way. They should probably like push her.
They like us do it. It's like a soft push, with her.
She's with Penelope Ford.
That's why I said soft push.
That's why I said soft.
Emphasis on SAWFT, sir.
Oh.
Isn't he popping up in TNA soon?
Yeah, I think so. Cheap plugs. YouTube.com/@Scotty. TNA sucks.
SUCKS sucks.
TNA is one big old Saturday night's main event. Thanks. What was I doing? Oh, plug YouTube.com/@Scotty Wrestling. I'm dropping a video in like 10 minutes about Io and Utami if you feel like checking that out. Did a video on the state of the high speed division.
Mm-hmm.
It's not great, Jim. It's not great.
The video is.
The video is. The high speed division is not. Because it simply doesn't exist. Yeah. And
talk about low speed. Big circle on that one.
Big circle. What the fuck? I had something. You just. Oh, the next few weeks. Next week I'll have my 5-star Grand Prix preview out. The week after that, I'll have my Dream Star Grand Prix preview out. And you should subscribe to that because each and every day that there's a tournament show, I'm reviewing it. Why? Because I hate myself and I love the people.
Sacrifice himself. He's the Will Ospreay of Joshi fandom.
I'm just gonna let it go.
When he wins, he loses.
That's true, actually.
Yeah.
All right. Goodbye, everybody.
Hold on. I got some.
Well, from me. You do your thing. I'm done.
My match of the week, I'm going to say, is Konosuke Takeshi and Kyle Fletcher versus Brody King and Bandito from Dynamite this week. I didn't do one last week, and I'll do it here real quickly. And that was going to be, I want to say, the main event of the Great American Bash 1985. They uploaded it to the WWE Vault. That is, if you don't know historically, that is a show that I don't actually know if a full release of that show was ever made public. It was basically like in 95, that Great American Bash was a tour for the most part. And then the last show of the tour, I believe, is the tape that everyone sort of gets. But as far as I understand it, the tape that everyone got was a sort of Pro Wrestling Illustrated video of sort of like an hour-long highlight reel of the show when the show itself was like 2+ hours. So I don't actually know off the top of my head if it's ever been fully released, that video, but now it has at the very least. That's the WWE Vault. So I would highly recommend it. Pretty solid show. I enjoyed what I watched from old 1985 wrestling. My plugs. I released the latest episode of The Ballot with Mercedes Moné, with guest Lyric.
I almost turned that on you and said, you did it with Mercedes Moné for Mercedes Moné? I'd love to hear her case for herself.
It's probably good. It's probably
no.
2-hour episode, all about Mercedes Moné. I thought it was really fun. I think it created some good conversation from other places that I saw that I quite enjoyed. I think she's a really good case. I think we made me and Lyric and I created a good case for Mercedes for the Hall of Fame. I've seen a lot of good discussion. I think the big talking point of discussion that I heard and saw was, look, you're going to vote for Becky Lynch. You kind of have to vote for Mercedes Moné as well, because there's sort of a alley-oop, slam dunk, two-hander of sort of their Hall of Fame significance.
I plan on it.
So I've kind of settled into, I do agree. I would vote for Becky Lynch. So,
I respect women. So
I think I would vote for Mercedes Moné as well. And to that extent, it made me difficult because I was like, all right, then who is my fifth point? Is it Moxley or Sabu? And it was a real struggle between the two. But I guess maybe Moxley might take it over, sadly. Anyways, listen to The Ballot. Great episode. We talked about who the next episode topic will be of August. in that episode. So if you want the teaser, it's in the episode. Go check it out on all available platforms like Ring Post Radio. You can listen to this show, subscribe on all available platforms. Subscribe, follow us on social media if you so choose. We have an X account, but don't follow us there. Don't bother. We don't bother with that website. Best thing you can do for yourself is not follow us on anywhere, but follow us if you're going to be on social media. Anyways, next week we'll talk more about professional wrestling, G1, TNA, Evolution, and we'll talk more about whatever happens in the world of
professional wrestling. You put the women's pay-per-view last.
I was just
typical Ryan.
We'll talk about it first next week on Ring Post Radio. And until then, we'll talk to you all later. Enjoy your Taco Bell.
I don't want